All right, guys, it's not Ian's smooth jazz in the background, but that was your humble host's hold music. Ian Carroll. Oh, you're locked. I don't have you. I don't have your sound.
No, it's just me being an amateur hour over here, not unmuting myself.
Guys,
I already saw a chat that said, Ian, don't let Baron touch any technology, and I'm the one coming in muted.
I get the guy who literally builds applications. He comes in and is on mute when he starts the show.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome in. We're gonna have a big show today. We have a hard cap though, and we have to shut it down at 7:30 Central Time. So we have a 90-minute program set up for you. After the 90 minutes goes, Ian has to run. He has a prior commitment. I conned him into staying for an hour and a half, and much against his will. And he's the Patsy.
Rough life. It's a rough life.
He's the Patsy tonight.
Whether knowing or unknowing is not yet decided. We'll discuss that on tonight's show.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll go an hour and a half. I'll stay a little bit afterwards, answer questions, and kind of do my interaction with the audience afterwards. But we are on both channels. For those that don't know, we're on Real Baron Podcast on YouTube. We are on Ian Carroll Show on YouTube as well.
Yes, sir.
Is it called Ian Carroll Show? As soon as I said
it is. I keep thinking about changing it, but it's still Ian Carroll Show to this day.
You know, I was on my show was Baron Coleman, and then I went to Real Baron Podcast about the time you found me, and now I want to go back to Baron Coleman, and someone else picked it up.
They'll do that to you. We'll get you.
They have 2 subscribers. But guys, we got a big show lined up. I do not have my traditional opening because Ian's here, and I did not want him sitting here watching me read the screen for 10 minutes. We talked about maybe it would be cool to have Ian do an opening and me watch him do it for 10 minutes. But
we could both do an opening one of these days.
We could do it like the Beastie Boys, pass it back and forth.
Yeah, now we're talking.
every other line. But we want to recap for everybody. I really want to recap sort of the Charlie Kirk universe, the Charlie Kirk investigation, figure out where we are on it, but also give people a unique back and forth spin on where each of the items is. So there's different buckets of the Charlie Kirk investigation. This is something the guy I really like to follow. You and I were talking about him this afternoon, Jason Goodman, who I really like his personality. I think he provides a great voice to a lot of different issues. But he's loving the drone issue. And I'm like, Jason, I've had no time to look into drones. This is not something I've had any time to explore. I'm looking at, gunshots. I'm looking at shrapnel. I'm looking at the doctor. I'm looking at, plants exploding in West Tennessee. I don't have time to look.
Trying to become an expert at tracking planes.
I'm not as
just
good
a million different directions to go with this investigation.
Do you want to preview what you might be working on relative to tracking?
Maybe. Like I think that right now it's like in a state of complete disarray because I was trying to load a whole bunch of Fort Huachuca flights into it. So we'll tease it another time. But
go ahead.
I was just going to say that, like you're saying, there's all these different directions of investigation, and we've gotten so far down so many of them that we kind of need a not just a recap, but like a recondensing of what do we know, what do we not know, what was disproven and what was proven, and where like a lot has been coming out with Candace's recent 2 episodes today and yesterday, and things that happened over the break that adds a lot of context to old stuff and pushes some of the old stuff a little bit further without necessarily people realizing.
Yeah, she had a good show today. I thought she dropped a lot of really interesting points. We can open up a couple of those as we go. I think the number one dividing line, because I keep hearing news people say this, I keep hearing people in the investigation sphere say this, I see people on the right wing and the left wing say this. The overarching question, to me, the entire investigation divides on, was Charlie Kirk shot?
100%.
Did something external to Charlie Kirk enter his neck from more than 2 feet away?
Yep. And we've had a lot of playing that idea out over time. We've had a lot of people testing bullets, people triangulating the audio from the actual video recordings, people looking at sight lines. I drove all the way to UVU to look at a single rooftop location to try to figure out if a vent was a shooter or a vent. There's been a lot of investigation into all possible angles of shots and all other theories as well. There's still a lot of theories out there, but I think we both pretty much hone in on 1 or 2, maybe 3 most likely scenarios, not necessarily exclusive.
I still catch myself saying the moment he was shot or Charlie Kirk was shot. I
Yeah.
still catch myself saying that. And I don't believe he was shot.
As I was captioning the video that we're gonna have of that little piece today, I caught myself doing that when I was captioning it of like gunshot, and I was like, wait a minute, gun.
I've taken to calling it the Big Bang, and I've seen other people now start to call it the Big Bang or the moment or the whatever. So I think other people are starting to distance themselves from this. Initially, gunshot seemed very rational, very reasonable to me. If you look at my text threads from September 10th to maybe October 15th, there wasn't a single doubt in my mind that he had been shot.
Yeah,
It was what was the angle. I loved Dr. Chris Martinson when he was really going over.
completely agree. Very precise. But then people started shooting things with 30-06s. And we found out during that investigation that Candace had seen footage that showed no blood from the back, which we kind of all could tell from all the other angles too. But the confirmation of no blood from the back, no exit wound, then all of the different shooting that was happening with 30-06s into all sorts of different materials. Like Chris Martinson, for example, did, I think, 38 shots in his first test that went through roasts, bone-in roasts, concrete behind roasts, plywood and concrete behind roasts. It just became more and more apparent that the rifle doesn't match the crime at all in any way. And now, actually, tonight, I think that you have queued up a couple of the frangible rounds that have been shot now too, right? That
I
we'll
do,
watch
and
a little bit.
I want to bring those in. We'll go ahead and bring Trigger Smarts in because we played this before. So this will be a recap for some of my audience. I don't know if your audience has seen this.
Maybe my Twitch audience had.
But let's bring up why we're looking at frangible rounds at all.
Yeah, the changing narrative.
Yeah, so Candace kind of dropped a bomb yesterday that the doctor may not have been the one suggesting the gunshot as much as Erica Kirk and Andrew Coleman.
Huge bomb.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that she dropped about Erica Kirk yesterday were absolutely game changing. They rearranged the whole story. Well, in a way that I think a lot of people are already suspecting. The most suspicious among us are already like laser focused on Erica, but it's different to be suspicious of Erica than to have facts coming out that just kind of disqualify her statements.
I promised not to do the Erica Demon voice tonight. I kind of gave a few promises that that's not going to happen.
We'll try our best.
I'm not going to do the Erica tail. We're keeping it clean tonight. Keeping it clean tonight. So clean often involves more than just that. So yeah, I wanted to bring that in. The reason we're looking at frangible rounds is because initially the 30-06 round was kind of accepted by everybody. It was recapped by the news. Everybody was sort of went with it. It was all over social media. Your humble host, I think I heard you talk about it. We sort of accepted. Yeah, Charlie was shot. Now, where was he shot from? Was it Tyler Robinson who shot him? And then people started firing thousands and thousands of rounds at everything imaginable in the field. And we started looking at it thinking, maybe he wasn't shot. Like maybe he wasn't shot with a 30-06. Then we get the information from TPUSA that no, the doctor, in fact, did not say what Andrew Colvett said he said. In fact, what he said was perhaps there was a frangible round. Now we learned from Candace yesterday, maybe the doctor didn't say that either. Maybe they're just plugging things in.
We also halfway through that heard that the bullet had hit his C2 down to his C6, like this weird trajectory that goes through your face. Yeah. Like the spinal damage that the surgeon was apparently reporting was completely inconsistent with the wound that we had all seen in multiple ways. Yeah. And so with the changing narrative about the damage to his neck and the changing narrative about the bullet that did the damage to his neck, and now we can't trust anything that any of them have said. Yeah. And I think that you're the one that was pointing out to me that Dr. Lee Trotter probably can't speak at all. He's probably locked up.
Yeah, we'll get
like
to that.
Verbally, so to speak.
Right, not yeah. Physically locked up.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not locked up. And if he is, I hope he's enjoying it. I hope it's consensual. But let me get to this because now we have a little background to understand why it is we were looking at frangible rounds at all, because there was a legitimate question. Could this have been a frangible round? And let me say real quickly before I show this video, if you are watching on my stream, jump over real quickly on Ian, subscribe to his channel, like his video, get it pushed up to the top of the algorithm. If you are watching on Ian's, I'll be selfish here, jump over on mine, subscribe to my channel, like my video, so that it will push it up to the front of the algorithm. All right, let me play this here. I might Well, I'm going to leave it on. I think he does say a foul word or two here, but I mean, let me bring. Actually, I don't want to say that. I don't want to put ugly words and
don't put words in his mouth.
trigger
Come on.
mouth. But hey, let me. So you're
He's
going
out here shooting in the cold for us.
I know it was freezing. You can see he was shaking at one point. Let me do this. This is a frangible 5.56 round. In a minute, we'll show a frangible 30-06 round. But this was Trigger
So to
Smart.
clarify, this round is smaller than a 30-06.
Oh, it's about a third of the size.
Yeah.
I mean, a traditional 30-06. Obviously, 30-06 has come in a variety of weights, but this is a smaller than what you would think of as a 30-06 round. So
that's a honker of a bone.
It looks delicious.
No,
I mean, that looks delicious.
Yeah, it does.
Someone texted me and asked if I was drinking again. No, this is coffee. I just put it in a red wine glass because that's all I could find in there right now. All right, let me fire this away. It's going to happen as soon as I hit play. Boom. So you saw the steak get hit. You saw the bone jump.
And so immediately pause right there. Pause. That right there, the first thing I noticed in this test was, I was actually kind of nervous because I've been theorizing that a bullet would not be stopped. And still, this round is smaller. Yeah, but if this round gets stopped, then it leads to questions of like, well, hey, maybe we're wrong. But not only was the bullet not stopped, but also the obvious thing that these frangible rounds are doing in every single instance of them we've seen so far is they're doing way more damage to the actual tissue that they're passing through. And if you watch Trigger Smart's whole video, which you all should go and watch Trigger Smart's whole video, it's only like 50 minutes long, excellent video. He shoots a bunch of different fruit, he shoots water jugs, and he shoots this meat and a roast. And you can see over and over that the frangible rounds are breaking up within the flesh a little bit, and they're like sending their force out into the flesh way more. And it implies to me that if a frangible round had hit Charlie Kirk in the neck, we would have expected to see more damage to the neck, not less.
You know what this test in particular did for me, and then watching Jesse on Fire and Heavy Duty Country do their test, what it confirmed to me was a frangible round is not necessarily designed, and I don't want to spoil the conclusion this early. We're showing the first 4 seconds of the clip here. But the frangible round is designed not to redirect off of a hard surface. So if you shoot at a steel target in the field, it might shoot back at you if you're just at the right angle. But a frangible round is not going to shoot back at you. If you hit the steel, it breaks up and falls to the ground. But it is not going to be stopped. What we learned in this test here, and we'll show, I don't want to spoil the surprise on Heavy Duty Country's video, but what we learned is it doesn't stop in the flesh either at all.
Like
or in the bone.
Good shot.
No, it goes right through bone.
Make sure we're clear
on both tests. I gotta figure out. Look at that. That's the bone right there. See that?
Yeah. That's the back.
All right, so here's what we have.
Look at that. I mean, it just went right
Pretty
through.
sizable entry hole. Some pretty good damage. Nice wound cavity.
Oh no, that's the flesh.
Come on the other
That's
side.
bone side.
And
So yeah, there's your answer. Can a human neck
Busted
stop
out.
the frangible round? Now again, this is a 5.56 round, which in I guess in a millimeter perspective, it's 5 millimeters across instead of 8 millimeters across on a 30-06 or 7.5 millimeters across on a 30-06 round. In terms of inches, it's 0.22 of an inch instead of 0.3 of an inch on a 30-06 round. In terms of weight, a typical 30-06 round is going to be, in the 140, 170 grain. A 5.56 round is going to be around 50, maybe, give or take. So it's a smaller diameter, smaller weight. It is a little hotter round. They do fly a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a perfect test, but Trigger Smart was able to get his hands on. So I'll go ahead and pull this down. He was able to get his hands on a frangible round and give it a test. Now, what did we learn on the Heavy Duty Country?
Yeah, shout out to Jesse on Fire and Heavy Duty Country for hunting down some frangible 30-06 rounds. I'm pretty sure that Jesse on Fire said that these are actually from 1945 or something. They're actual like old military surplus.
Yeah. I didn't mean to pull that up. I'm sure it was a great.
She was on point with the comment though.
Let me look at it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do wrong.
How does Erica try to explain her telling Candace she met Tyler at the 2015 rally? That was a huge lie, and he crushed it previously at the funeral rally. Erica Kirk is a blank. Yeah. When you're telling lies that were refuted already on stage at Charlie Kirk's memorial in front of millions of people, that is bad planning. That is bad PR.
A Jotard. Come on.
Bad PR.
You
Oh,
guys
I
are
get the
great.
Joe reference now.
You guys are great.
Yeah, we don't JoJo, but we Joe.
We don't. Did I tell you I ordered that book? It's coming. The book is on its way. I've got the live.
Let's go.
So this is a 1945 collector's round. I think they said they paid $12 per round for 4 rounds of this, which I like, because had they gone out and gotten a brand new frangible round, somebody could say, oh, well, perhaps Tyler was shooting an 80-year-old frangible round, and perhaps it would have lost some of its oomph over the years. Well, we'll find out how much oomph it lost.
The oomph.
Here's the oomph right here. Boom. It's shot through the turkey bones, the cinder block behind it.
Oh,
you'll get to watch them come up and get a peek at it here.
Half the sound of
definitely doesn't do as
the
much
big
damage to what's behind it as
that was weird. Dude.
FMJ.
Oh my God, it went all the way
obviously.
Well, no, but it does
went all the
damage
way
behind it.
through,
That's the
and
point.
It
I
does
hit
do
that.
damage behind it.
Oh my God.
mean, look at this thing.
Straight through.
Holy shit. So it went
I mean,
through.
there you see the size of the hole coming
and
out
it
of the back
broke.
of it. It broke the cinder block.
Look at that, dude.
Yep.
Straight
There's
through
no
that.
look at that. His whole thumb fits in the back
Bone.
of it.
Yeah.
I saw it hit.
That is a frangible 30-06
like it was like
It's
not
just
even
no way.
impinged
If
by.
you don't watch Heavy Duty Country or Jesse on Fire, go give them a follow as well. They're fantastic people. They've been doing
great work.
Lost our aspect. There we go. All right. So what do you conclude from that?
I mean, what we're all thinking is that he wasn't shot with a 30-06, and we knew that from the beginning. I mean, well, we've known that for a while now. We've suspected it, but the more tests that come out, the more absurd the rebuttals are, like the bouncy skin theory, and I don't know, like maybe the ammunition salesman out there know bullets better than the tests actually are showing. And I'm just waiting for any of them to do a test to shoot something that will stop a 30-06. Valhalla literally shot through steel with 30-06, not frangible, but with 30-06. So it makes you think about what's a different plausible scenario. And there's a lot of other plausible scenarios. When you actually look at the video evidence of what actually happened that day, when you put together the fragments, these are things that really came together on your show, on Trigger Smart. A number of people have been involved in putting together the pieces of the puzzle of a possible explosion, a possible exploding microphone, a possible shape charge, a fair bit of discussion about possible electrocution. There have been people talking about, like, you know, low velocity, short range projectiles, but I have not largely bought that because of how unreliable that would be, and because of how much evidence we see that actually matches up with an explosive at this point.
Yeah, for people who are, I mean, if it was a short range, low velocity projectile, so from within 30 feet or less, I'm willing to entertain that. I would have to see evidence of something left in his neck. I would have to see where that projectile is. And in his body, the way his body moves, the way the shirt jumps, the way his necklace moves is not consistent with that being the sole cause of damage to his neck. But I would at least be willing to entertain that, hey, maybe they, in just sheer piling on, they made his necklace move, they made his microphone move, they made his shirt move, they made his neck, jump up, they made his shoulder tense, they made his hands crimp up. And also, just because they wanted to make sure, Rasputin wouldn't come back for the dead, they also hit him with a low velocity projectile. But if you're going to tell me they hit a low velocity projectile from 300 feet away, no, that's not that. They are not made for that. That's not something people do. And if you don't believe me, walk into any sporting goods store, go grab a subsonic round, and look at the drop rating on those things at 50, 100, 150, 200 meters out. You get drops that are just ludicrous. I mean, absolutely ludicrous.
You're like throwing a football at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Hail Marying.
It is the difference, honestly, between throwing something and shooting throwing a rock and shooting a what do you call this? Slingshot.
Yeah.
The slingshot's going to be much straighter, might have a little drop to it, but much straighter over a period of time than just chucking the rock.
But here's the real kicker that I keep coming back to, and my brain keeps swirling around this piece, is that if you take a couple of assumptions that we're certainly both on this page, I think, and I think most of our audiences are, is that the rifle was planted. And if they planted this Mauser that shoots 30-06 rounds, and then he gets shot in the neck, why would they plant the wrong rifle? Right. And this is one of the key questions that to me lends credibility to the exploding microphone theory, because part of the exploding microphone theory, the most likely version of the exploding microphone theory, in my understanding of it, is that it was actually supposed to hit him in the chest, is that he was supposed to have a chest wound. And if he had a chest wound, none of these questions would have been asked. None of this weirdness with the bullet and the autopsy and the neck and the vertebrae, none of that would have happened. And no one would be shooting through roasts with 30-06s, because 30-06 can totally stop in your chest. That's fine. No problem. But the neck wound just does not make sense for the plan. And John Bray laid out a very compelling case that we aren't going to show, because you have to kind of look at the blood pool. You have to look at the blood and the piece in the blood. He laid out a very compelling case for that possibly if there's a shape charge in the shirt attached to the microphone, inside the microphone, and it kind of primes at a weird angle and then shoots at the wrong angle, and either a piece of shrapnel hits him in the neck, or I think shrapnel is most likely for the neck, but maybe the actual shape charge hits him in the neck. That starts to make a lot more sense, because you're not going to go to all this planning to like carry out this complex assassination and plant the wrong rifle. Right.
So I want to get to shape charges. I want to get to explosives in just a second. You've raised the issue of the exploding microphone. I am a fan that among the many things that took place that day, something ignited, I'll say, if not exploded, ignited under his shirt, causing his shirt to rapidly deform in a way that a gunshot to the neck would not have done. But I want to pause and remind people, we pulled the actual comments on the law from HHS today, just so you can see that we're not making this up. The Dr. Lee DuPont Trotter is in a very unenviable position. So this is the definition of protected health information here. But this is as it relates to deceased individuals. The HIPAA privacy rule that we're all familiar with, because we all have to go inside HIPAA releases every time you go to the doctor somewhere. HIPAA, the P does not stand for privacy. It stands for portability. It was about a health insurance portability. And a bunch of senators got together and said, hey, while we're doing this, we might as well protect our health information so no one knows we're screwing around on our wives and no one knows we're going to rehab. It was great. It was great for them. But it's created a nightmare for the rest of us. But it does protect individually identifiable health information for 50 years following the date of death. I wanted to point that out because people are saying, I hear people saying in the field, well, the doctor is telling so-and-so this. The doctor said this. And I'm telling you right now, that's not happening.
Yeah.
That's just not happening. The doctor is not telling these people these things. Individually identifiable health information about a decedent for 50 years following the death of an individual remains protected health information. After that 50 years, and even during the 50 years, there are some exceptions, but it would never be like, you can talk to Andrew Colvett. That exception wouldn't exist.
Yeah,
there's no Colvett exception.
No. And you certainly can't make up stuff and tell them be spreading false information about someone's death either. That's not happening.
No, you can't. No, you can't. So I wanted to get to that. Now, you had some information about a potential source of the explosive material. Should the explosive material have actually happened?
Actually, before we go to talking more about accurate energetics, let's talk about let's just play this clip that I pulled out. I want to share just the exact video, because we pulled a video out so that Charlie's not in the video. But there is a thing that seems to drop from the sky behind Charlie right after the shot is fired, like 1 second after the shot is fired. And it's been a bit of a mystery all along, because it looks like something falls from the top of the tent like right before Charlie's even fallen over, before anything's happened. And I've been wondering this the whole time. I just loaded into the bottom there, Baron.
Okay, I was gonna say, why am I not seeing it? But that's why.
Yeah. And so what I did is I cut this so that Charlie's not in the frame, and I actually took out the audio too, just in case YouTube is being really paranoid. But I put in title cues for when the gunshot sounds happened. And I also put in cues for what frame rate, like what speed we're watching this at. So first we'll watch it at 4x speed, and then it slows down to 1/10 speed, and then it slows down to 1/20 speed. So we can see this thing. It's only in 3 frames of this video, I'm pretty sure, maybe 4. So it's at 1/4 speed, and Charlie's head is right down here beneath. And the gunshot just sounded, and then a thing falls right here. Right there. A little piece of something. 1/10 speed, and this is at 1/20th speed. Okay. And it's, maybe it's a bug. Maybe it's a giant cockroach bug that flies over Charlie Kirk's head in September in Utah 1 second after the gunshot sound rings out. But that seems like a crazy coincidence to me. So just to clarify the frame direction that's happening here, this is the first frame in this video that I can see it in. I've seen it in a couple of the videos. This is the best one that I could find today to pull it from. This frame, it's unclear if it's going up or down, but the next frame in the line is this. And then the next frame is this. And then it falls out of frame.
So
and, yeah, tell me what you're thinking, Baron.
Well, so I watched this, and to begin with, when you watch it in normal speed, bugs don't move that way. They don't move that fast. They don't change directions on a dime. This thing, you're talking 1/20th speed, and you're hitting frame by frame. A bug moving this far in one frame is 1/20th of a second. No bug flies that fast.
Yeah.
So that's not a bug.
Yeah.
There's a 0% chance it's a bug. Initially, people were saying perhaps it was a bullet shell because he was shot from behind.
People were saying that it was a bullet shell that fell out of the camera, right? Because the camera was a gun, right? Which is like, yeah, maybe a stretch, but it's certainly, it looks like something falling from the ceiling of the tent. But what at least I had not yet thought of is maybe it's something that exploded upwards out of Charlie's shirt and hit the top of the tent and then fell. And it happens about 1 second after the gunshot sound rings out, which in my mind is about the time it would take for something to fly up extremely fast, hit the bounce of the tent canopy, and then fall down at a regular speed.
So you and I speculated today, actually you speculated, and I think I agree with it, that it looks on its face like something hit the top of the tent, the metal of the tent, a piece of...
Yeah, it might be hitting this bar here and bouncing off that, or it might, I'm undecided. Maybe it's something that goes all the way up to the roof of the canopy of the tent, bounces off that really fast, and then the very next frame, we already see it falling down. It's hard to say, but it kind of looks like it deflects right here, right? From there to there.
And if you've ever thrown like a pizza box or something, the little circles that come on a pizza box and they spin because they're flat and the air acts on it.
And it clearly has different dimensionality to it. Here we're seeing it side on, kind of more flat on.
Mm-hmm.
But see, this is a piece of physical evidence. And maybe it's an aberration of camera, but I kind of doubt that. I would love to hear someone's argument for that. Maybe it's a bug. I highly doubt that. Maybe it's some advanced DARPA drone. I don't think so. I think the far more likely explanation that it's a piece of ADS-B plastic from one component of something that exploded somewhere down below.
I think I tend to agree with you. It's black, it's fragmented, and it looks to me like a large piece of what we see as debris on the floor of the SUV that Candace showed in the picture.
And it's also worth noting that it's not this black piece of the actual tent. It is not that, and that piece does not move as this other piece comes in and comes near it and kind of not really sure what the white is going on in that frame, but that other thing stays there the whole time.
I think it's light. It's just light hitting it.
Yeah,
so something that John Bray pointed out to me today, actually, and John Bray's done yeoman's work on this microphone theory, but what he pointed out to me is the Road Go 2 actually has a glassy cover over one side. And so what you may be seeing on that, what you said looked white, is light fragmenting also, or light reflecting also off of that fragmented plastic, because it has sort of a glassy cover on one side. The newer Road 3 doesn't have that.
Because this is a piece of what I mean to say is that this is a piece of physical evidence that is captured on film on multiple cameras, and it needs an explanation. And a gunshot does not explain this.
No.
At all. This has nothing to do with a gunshot. And so it's just one piece of many pieces of evidence that goes with the evidence in the car of what looks like fragmented plastic on the floor of the car. It goes with the puffing of the shirt, which pulls Charlie's shirt up in like 1/30th of a second, more or less, in front of his face, with gases appearing to come out. Maybe it's aberration, but I think we're all on the same page that things are starting to add up to be more in line with some sort of explosive charge or some other device rather than a gunshot.
So I want to pull up, since we're talking explosives, a lot of people may not know, about a month to the day, give or take, after Charlie Kirk was, after the big bang in Orem, Utah, where Charlie Kirk was taken down at the tender age of 31. A munitions plant in Tennessee blew up. And when I say blew up, I don't mean it caught fire and sparkled like Erica Kirk coming on stage. I mean it like ceases to exist.
Yeah.
Like my house
Blew a
is,
hole in the ground.
yeah, my house is 60 miles away. People in our neighborhood felt it. It's a massive facility, a massive explosion. And you pulled some information on this. I will pull some of these up one at a time. Tell us what it is you see in this About Us page on AES. This is the plant that exploded. Tell us why you think this might be something we should be looking at.
So you'll notice, first off, though, you'll notice that page right there actually is not the original web page. That page is a archive.org page, right?
That's
Because
correct.
Baron, if you switch to showing my screen at the bottom real quick,
Hold, please.
what my screen shows is what you would actually find if you went to this web page today, right now.
Oh my gosh,
The
really?
page no longer exists.
No.
And you know, maybe Accurate Energetics is under investigation. Maybe they are rightfully concerned about their public image and what's going on. But right now, this page does not exist. So you got to go to the archive and way back their page. And that is what Baron is looking at. And I found this page in particular, Baron, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, the very, very bottom of this page, I mean, they do have a lot of stuff. So scroll up just a little bit. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself saying the bottom. Scroll up to the next red section. In this red section right there, bottom left, it says expertise in shaped charges and cast cure technologies, right? And, you know, that's just like a little, you know, diddly on their website. It's just a little ping that kind of hit my searches. But there's another page that's on their old website that is also 404 not found. Baron, if you want to go to mine, and I'll jump from the 404 to what I found. So this is another page that is no longer exists. But when you go to archive.org and plug that in, application of linear shaped charges. Accurate energetic systems, linear shaped charges are ideal for a variety of applications, including demolition, mining, salvage operations, and wherever precision metal cutting is required, whether cutting through steel beams in construction, demolition, or severing underwater pipelines during salvage operations, provide unmatched precision and reliability. This is a thing that they make and that they specialize in. And this is not new news. John Bray already broke this. John Bray already talked about this. But you shouldn't just trust someone to tell you that a thing is real. You shouldn't just trust someone else's research. You should be triangulating and verifying for yourself. And so I thought what John Bray said about the shape charge theory was very compelling. And so I wanted to dig in and see if I could verify each individual piece of it. And it turned out to be a little harder than I expected to verify the sort of the claim that Accurate Energetic Systems was like actively manufacturing these types of explosives that John Bray was talking about. But I found those two dead pages in their old, like in their dead web page, and also on Accurate Energetic Systems Association of the United States Army page, they actually mentioned here. Let me change my search from Lori to shaped. They mentioned shape charges in the specific details about two of their different facilities capacities, and they're actually talking about their various facilities and what they build at those facilities. And then this is another area that consists of two multi-level buildings purpose built for this, and they make all kinds of things. Cast items include mining boosters, warheads, grenades, mortars, shape charges, and TNT cylinders. So this is just a bit of that verification process of realized that actually, yes, this plant, to recap, this plant that blows up 1 month after Charlie Kirk was assassinated out of nowhere. They specialize in, among other things, shaped charges. And John Bray, who's got a lot more expertise in this than I do, was talking about how they actually work with the exact type of explosive material that he suspects was in the shaped charge that he's discussing. And he's talking about building actually a model to try to replicate the damage to a microphone and try to test that plastic out afterwards. But we'll have to wait and see what he pulls up on that. That is okay. So Baron, I want to ask you about the contracts that you found.
Okay.
Because I was digging into the contracts too. And I think I probably found some of the same contracts as you. When you dig into, that's other stuff from Canada's episode, is when you dig into the contracts, you find a lot of contracts on Higher Gov and kind of like basic contract amalgamation websites. But this is the one that I was telling you about earlier when we were getting ready here that seems to have a glitch in the system. This one seems to be, every way that I've been able to triangulate it, it seems to be entered with a glitch and a computer glitch, and it's not showing up in most of the other contract databases, but it seems to be entered where it was awarded and completed both on September 23rd, 2025, apparently. I don't know a lot about military contracts, and I've not seen them. Like, I've not done a lot of digging into them in the past.
That's interesting. I've not seen this.
Weird?
I'm reading it for the first time. Yeah. So it was, I mean, this is a little suspicious to begin with. Not wholly suspicious, but the fact that they solicited and only got one bid received is a little unusual. That second sentence there.
No, 2 were received.
Well, that's the global military products one. Go down.
Oh,
one.
you're right.
Yeah. So that was a 119,000.
It was 1 received.
Yeah, 1 received. Work locations funding determined with each order. Estimated completion date September 23.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Right there. So it's like, is this a typo?
Let me.
And why doesn't this contract show up in the normal contract locations?
Yeah, so I'm on USA Spending. Let me see real quickly. Sorry, guys, we're doing a little research on the fly.
Because when I was telling Baron about this earlier, we had already been talking a little bit as we were getting ready for the show. I was talking to Baron about how, I think that we should probably revisit the Acrid Energetic Systems explosion. I want to hear a little bit more about Baron's been doing some footwork in the background that he's going to tell us about, I hope. And I was just digging through the contracts just as grunt work to make sure I was caught up. And I figured that I was finding the exact same things that Baron had already talked about. And I mentioned this just earlier today. And Baron was like, I don't know if I've seen this contract that you're referring to. Because
So
my understanding is it's not showing up in those normal places.
Yeah, I just found it.
Okay.
It's a 6-year period of performance, though. I'll just share the.
So it seems like this has to be a typo, right? It's like I'm not under the impression that this is some sinister. Like, let's be real. If you're ordering a special shape charge for a secret assassination, you're not doing it through like a DoD contract, right? You're not.
Well, you might,
but you might piggyback off of it. You might, grab a little bit off you might skim a little off the top, so to speak, right?
You might. So let me drop this and I'll pull up what I've been using. So for those that don't know, if you go to usaspending.gov, most federally contracted dollars are available here. I think this is the contract you're looking at, this top one right here. Period of performance start date 2025 9/23. And then you'll notice it's 4 years later.
Yeah.
At the end of Q2.
Does it have spend in it?
Yeah. So this is
119 million.
119. Well, it's part of a lot larger than that.
Yeah.
$7 million obligation. We could open this up and
W519TC 25D 0041.
Yep, that's it.
Cool. Good.
That's
Cool.
it. So this is this is a small piece, what you've discovered here, of a very large order for TNT.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably not going to be able to deliver now that they've been wiped off the map.
Yeah. Awkward. And speaking of them being wiped off the map, that brings us back to what you've been up to lately, is that the plant manager? People discovered, maybe John Bray was the first one to discover it, that the plant manager had quit like days after Charlie was killed. Can you know a little more about this than me?
Well, I don't know a ton about it because I actually reached out to the guy. I found his name, actually reached out to the guy, and he was less than enthusiastic about talking to me.
To
That's the
no one's surprise.
The nicest way I know it. I don't even want to say his name because I don't want people harassing this guy. And I often tell people I don't love reaching out to people if I don't have to. But I got
You
to
felt the explosion in your house.
yeah, I got to the point where I was like, all right, I got to ask this guy. I mean, he left employment. I pick up the phone. I call him. To my surprise, he answers. I have a way to find phone numbers for people. I pick up the phone. I call him. He answers and was polite. I mean, he wasn't a jerk. And he said, "Hey, can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm Baron Coleman. I've got a show on YouTube, and I'd just like to, if you have a few moments, ask you some questions about your employment at Accurate Energetic Systems and sort of some of the fallout after the explosion." And he said, "F you, don't you ever effing call me again. Some other F word," and then he hung up. So I was like, all right, well, I guess the answer to that question is you don't want to talk about it if you apparently don't have time or don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. So the timeline, just to clarify, is Accurate Energetic Systems makes all kinds of explosives for the U.S. government, and they have ongoing contracts to this day. Charlie Kirk is murdered on September 10th. Just a few days later, the plant manager resigns, and a new plant manager takes over. And within that next month period, a lot of people are talking about a lot of theories about how did Charlie Kirk actually die. They're paving over the courtyard at UVU, which I think we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yep.
And then about a month after Charlie is killed, that plant just goes poof right off the map. And I think the obvious suspicion that I am very curious about was that an accident, or was that in response to needing to cover up some sort of evidence? And obviously we don't know, and we don't have any evidence to say that that was malicious. There is an investigation ongoing, though.
Well, of course there is, but it'll be years before it's done. But I think there's one component to it you didn't mention, which is, again, just like the Fort Huachuca story changed the nature of the response from the other side. Yep. Everybody seemed to be willing to just let Chris Martenson and Valhalla and you and me and Candace and everybody else sort of talk about the Charlie Kirk investigation, as long as we were examining what angle he might have been shot in, maybe what grain of round might have shot in.
Perfectly happy to talk about bullets.
Yeah, the moment John Bray enters the scene and says, kind of looks like his mic exploded. Kind of looks like there was an explosion under his shirt. I mean, within days of that report, this plant gets blown off the map.
Yeah.
16 people died. This was not like something that happened at 2 a.m. This was during a shift. I think it was a morning shift.
Was it after John Bray came out and started talking about it?
Yes.
Whoa, dude.
I'm 99.5% sure.
I think you might be right.
But I mean, it was not long after either. Yeah. Maybe a week and a half.
I mean, to be fair, people have been talking about exploding microphones since the beginning, but I was dismissive of it for the reason I think a lot of people were, is because until you start saying the words shaped charges, it doesn't add up. It's like there's no outwards 360-degree explosion. A shaped charge is very, very different. And a shaped charge basically makes a hole in something.
So this is the contract that raised people's suspicion. I don't remember if I think I was the first one.
You were the first one that I saw talk about it.
Yeah, I think I was the first one to mention it. I've since seen it so many other places. I don't remember if I was first or not. I think I was. Start date May 1, 2025. This was for miniaturized, extra small demolition charges, anti-personnel, extra small. I mean, you can't get extra.
A little on the nose.
Yeah. I mean, other than saying we need something that'll fit in a microphone.
Teeny weeny, please.
Yeah. And it's a small amount. I mean, a defense contract in the
explosive, tiny contract.
Yeah,
compared to the other contracts that they have open.
They're 8-figure contracts.
Yeah.
And this one was such a short turnaround. Like the one you just found a minute ago from September 23rd, that had a period of performance of 4 or 5 years. Yeah. This one was months.
Kind of weird.
And it was delivered on August 25th. That's when the SAM 000 flight flies from Camp Springs to Colorado Springs. That's when the Heber City flight comes into John Tune.
Yeah, you did great work on that Heber City flight.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. This is recapping to say there are reasons people might have these suspicions. All right, I don't want to step on your thunder here.
No, that's exactly it, and I think it's the perfect time to actually move into you talking about paving over.
Oh,
Yeah, that stuff that we'll talk about Tyler Robinson in a minute.
So I want to play real quickly a clip from. Now I've played this before, but we've got again 30,000+ people on a live stream right now. So some of you may not have seen this. This is a clip from the great John Goodman or Jason Goodman. Excuse me, the great Jason Goodman. Someone called him John Goodman to his face the other day, and now I can't stop in my mind calling him John Goodman. The great Jason Goodman interviews. Now this guy on the screen is not only an eyewitness to the Charlie Kirk assassination, he's a great person to listen to for the next 25 seconds or so because he is also a contractor at Utah Valley University. He's a roofer. He works with the contracting, so he understands the flow of money through Utah Valley University. And there is an entity that he will discuss in just a second, and we'll look at what they have to say. But let me play this for the folks. He's going to be talking about when he opens, he's talking about the paving job that he's standing on, because that was grass. Where his feet are right now is grass when Charlie Kirk was taken.
And it was done on a Sunday in Utah.
4 days after the shooting.
Rush Sunday job in Utah.
See, I just said shooting. 4 days after the big man.
Yeah.
So let's listen to what our roofing contractor has to say to the great Jason Goodman.
But, you know, everyone's asking about this. Everyone thought it was UVU. I found out that it was the DFCM.
What is that?
Division of Facilities Construction Management. They're the ones that push this concrete pad through. You know, we do some commercial roofing work here, and I was told that I don't want to mention any names, but
Here, let's step over here so we're out of the wind. You don't want to mention any names, but
UVU is pretty much sounded like they're just as confused as everyone else when this thing came.
So what he's saying there is, I don't know, there was a lot of wind noise, but UVU was just as confused as everyone else. Why they're rushing to pave over a crime scene, literally cover up a crime scene.
Yep. It's almost like there was explosive material in the grass or something.
Almost like maybe the black piece we saw falling from the tent. There might have been others.
Yeah. Almost like all the black pieces of something that are in the floor of the car they took Charlie out in. Like maybe some of that's in the grass that you got to get rid of. Because how would you find it all? And how would you cover up the fact that you're picking? I mean, you could have you could say you were the cops picking through the grass, but you're not going to find it all.
Well, when I covered this the first time, I played that clip from Jason Goodman's podcast, Crowdsource the Truth. Again, he does great work.
Awesome show.
Yeah,
he's been hard on it for a long time, just doing awesome reporting on all kinds of stories.
Yeah, his personality is great. I really genuinely like his approach to things. And again, you saw a little bit of it there. He's like, the guy said, "Oh, this is from DFCM," and he's like, "What's that?" I mean, Jason never misses a follow-up question.
Yep.
But I don't want to glaze over Jason too much tonight. But if you go to the DFCM, let me pull it up. This is the 2025 Utah Valley University projects that they had. Now, I will show you the 2026 just in case you think, well, maybe they just rolled a little bit ahead, but no, they didn't. This is the 2025 projects they had planned, the Division of Facilities Construction Management for the state of Utah. This is the capital improvement plan they had for that year, and it does not have paving over the courtyard. It has roofing funds, ceramic roofs, a chiller replacement, a roundabout over on College Drive, a pneumatic damper operator.
Yeah, you weren't kidding that it is deeply itemized down to very small. Like there's $144,000 job up there for replacing ceramic roof.
They have a gas meter.
Yeah,
they're outing a few gas meters, and they've got it. Light bulbs are in here.
$300,000 of light bulbs.
Well, it's a big campus.
$75,000 for parking lot lighting replacements.
And so there is no pave over crime scene in here. There's no itemized pave over Charlie Kirk crime scene. And that's where that's where we get the phrase cover up, right? When we say it's a cover up, what we mean is they're literally covering up a crime. We say that figuratively, metaphorically, we say it's a cover up. I'll show you the 26 just in case you don't believe me. But this is where it comes from. You would take there we go, Utah Valley University. So again, same thing. They've got it deeply itemized here. They even have the names of these people, and I'll tell you about those in just a second. But, look, VAV and AHU upgrades, safety railing upgrade, on and on, concrete grinding and leveling. Again, that's grinding and leveling. That's not paving over crime scenes. Pathways, controls upgrades, boiler replace. But again, there's nothing about the courtyard being turned from grass to concrete. That does not exist in here anywhere. I'll let you kind of review this for a minute while I tell you about these people over here. I'll leave this pulled
Which
up.
wouldn't have been a terribly cheap operation either. It's not the most expensive thing in the world, but it certainly is a operation. They had machinery in there. They were leveling and compacting dirt. They were pulling out all the sod.
Let me say this for Utah. I like that they do this because it prevents the facilities of Utah-owned assets, state-owned assets like university systems. It prevents them from degrading due to neglect of the people operating those facilities. So the state comes in and they oversee and they say, hey, wait a minute, you're neglecting a parking lot and you're devaluing our asset. We're going to come in and pave it for you. We're not going to let you neglect it like that. But the fact that Utah Valley University was confused by it shocks me because I guarantee you Utah Valley University is like, hey, we need a cooling tower replaced. Hey, we need a transformer replaced. We need this parking lot scraped and
hey, we need more security cameras on our campus.
Hey, we could use some more security guards, maybe a magnetometer or two.
Yeah.
But the people that you saw on the right-hand side over here, I was called by somebody. I was actually put on to this I was put on to this spreadsheet for 25 and 26. And the fact that this was not a Utah Valley University operation, but this was a state operation, somebody called me and said, I know the 4 people you need to talk to. Here are their cell phone numbers. Don't tell anyone where you got them. And I haven't. But I reached out to them by text, reached out to them by call. No response. Absolutely no response. Same thing I said before. Hey, very similar to what I said to the guy from Accurate Energetic Systems. Hey, I've got a show. We get some viewers from time to time. People are asking a lot of questions about this. Can you just give me a call back? Happy to talk to you off the record and determine what part of that you would like to be on the record. And there was no answer. There was no response with text and no answer to the phone call. So draw whatever conclusions you want.
They all changed their phones. They all got rid of their phones.
They probably need to.
Throw them in the river. Pave over those phones.
Yeah. So what is sort of your summation of the state of the Charlie Kirk investigation in light of the things we've talked about tonight?
Everything about the gunshot stinks, and they are more than happy for us to go down the trail of the gun, go down the trail of the gunshot, shoot as many things as we want. But every new significant break around the guns, like, for example, Candace breaking that she has information to claim that it was the feds that later found the gun with not the dogs, but their special fed evidence. All these things that just add up to the gun doesn't make sense. The gun doesn't seem to be a part of it. The gun doesn't match the actual wounds that we see, but we see all sorts of evidence, mostly evidence that was not controlled by the government. Because, for example, the piece falling from the sky we just looked at, that's not controlled. That's an accident, whatever that is. If that's a piece of evidence, that's an accident. The photo of the car with a bunch of plastic all over the bottom, apparently, that wasn't controlled. That was released by the people that they didn't control. The people getting onto the plant. You can't really, you can't hide a giant explosion, but this is not, none of the evidence that's kind of led in this direction has been from the feds. It's all been from citizen journalists, and it's all been arising organically from people asking questions. And it has coincided as, steps in this line of questioning has happened. It's coincided with plants being wiped off the face of the earth and all sorts of other drama online to distract back to bullets and stuff like that. So I just can't help but notice that all the actual evidence starts to point in this direction, and all the responses to evidence and the sort of like media environment points away from a gun and a bullet as well.
So this is a very complex operation, in my opinion. A lot of people point to that as the idea that it probably isn't suspicious at all, because if it was suspicious, it would just be too doggone complex. You had some information about where Tyler went to college and some of the programs they have there.
Hey, Listen, this whole line of reasoning, it might be a red flag or a red herring. It's hard to say. But it's really interesting, and it's worth reminding ourselves all of that Tyler Robinson went to a intelligence operative school. He went to an intelligence recruiting ground haven, and UVU itself actually is deeply involved in intelligence agencies. And this has been swirling for a long time. People dug this up right away, and actually, I found clips of. So first, share my first page here, Baron. Because I found our boy Alex Jones enters the picture here as well. Because I found out that actually Utah State University, which is where Tyler attended for one semester, 4.0 student, nearly aced his ACT, on the way to greatness, presumably from his prior school behavior. He goes to Utah State University, which has all these CIA programs we're about to look at. And then he drops out after one semester and does a hard U-turn in his life and decides to become an electrician or go to the electrical program at like a tiny local, like community college kind of place. And the speculation about him being recruited by the CIA at this college got so overwhelming so fast that they put out a statement all the way back in September, officially denouncing the theory and saying that due to unfounded misinformation circulating online, USU is offering the following statement on Tyler Robinson's time at the university. He was not involved with the Center for Anticipatory Intelligence, did not have contact with CIA faculty, and did not attend any CAI activities. Sorry. Freudian slip. The Center for Anticipatory Intelligence is a strictly academic classroom, blah, 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 blah. And this reporting came up because Alex Jones had actually done a report early on where he said, confirmed, Tyler Robinson was confirmed an asset. Where am I at? I think it's did I put it? Oh, I'm actually at the wrong end of the reporting here. This is an Alex Jones tweet from September 29th, 2025, the same day they put that statement out. Breaking: Tyler Robinson confirmed to be in a CIA advanced program for college students, which is typical, getting a little ahead of our skis here. Think of it what you want. Certainly, we don't need to visit that. Certainly, Tyler Robinson did attend this school that has extremely heavy ties to the intelligence community, but that does not mean that he was necessarily in the program. And in light of Mr. Jones's recent, shall we say, ranting, I have questions about whether this is a red herring or not. I don't know. But I did pull together some of their staff and faculty just to remind us all of, although I think I need to switch to sharing my whole screen in order to show this to you.
Do you need me to drop your share, or can you switch?
No, I'll just kill it and I'll bring up the next one, because, and this is just a quick recap as we get to remind ourselves. So there's my new screen. I just pulled this all straight off of UVU's USU's website, sorry, the school that Tyler attended for one semester, that they have this thing called the Center for Anticipatory Intelligence that was founded by ex-CIA Jeannie Johnson, who has a strange gap for many years between when she was a member of the Balkan Task Force from 98 to 99 for the CIA, and then later went back to school to get her PhD. But there's a number of years that are unaccounted for there. And, you can imagine what a CIA operative would be doing in unaccounted for years. And Matt Barrett, her co-founder and close partner, has an even more astounding resume at the CIA. He retired from the Central Intelligence Agency as an assistant director of the CIA. And he had all these other senior positions, including mission manager for the Near East, South Asia, and Africa in the Directorate of Science and Technology. He was the head of 3 offices in the Directorate of Analysis. It goes on and on and on. And they have several other employees too that have a bit of a CIA pedigree, intelligence agency and Defense Department pedigrees in general. But there is, it's not just the school that Tyler went to. It's actually UVU as well. And here, let me pull this one up for you. I think this is my whole window so I can thumb through my tabs. So at UVU, the school where the shooting happened, there's also this NSS, the the Center for National Security Studies. And I actually saw their building when I went there to visit and check out the crime scene. And this is also a intelligence agency pipeline part of the school. Let me see where my tab is. And it's quite well confirmed that these are direct recruiting pipelines. This is an article about UVU's national security students determined to combat global tech threats and how these programs are new, but they're designed for the next generation of intelligence assets and intelligence preparedness, et cetera, in the National Security Studies program. One of the country's premier national security programs. Just happens to be at this college where this assassination happens.
You know what? When you're picking a jury, let me just say this. When you're picking a jury and you get the idea someone really wants to be on the jury, both the prosecution and the defense are apt to strike that person, because that person might take any position in order to get power or to assert himself or herself over the jury process. They might leak. They might be too excited to be there. And because of that, you just don't want them around. Wouldn't you think if you showed up at a college that's known for having a CIA pipeline, you're like, hey, I'd like to join the CIA program. Can I get into the secret program? Can I become an agent? And then about that time, you'd be like, this guy probably watched too many Bond movies. Let's move on from this guy.
Yep.
Let's go recruit the guy that looks at that cheese pizza.
Yep.
Let's go get that guy and we'll own him.
Yep, because remember, the official statement released is that he had no contact with the official program members. He wasn't in the program. He didn't go to any program activities. And that's not what I think anyone intelligent is alleging. And I'm not even alleging anything. I'm just saying that he goes to a school where he's surrounded by intelligence assets and intelligence recruiting pipelines. And then this murder happens at a school that is also filled with intelligence assets and intelligence recruiting pipelines. And it's no secret, like it is within their own documentation, that such experiential learning draws job recruiters from both traditional government agencies such as the CIA or FBI, along with private security firms, etc. And that their graduates are uniquely prepared to understand how to work in a professional security and intelligence environment and how to brief from day one. And this is the one that's at UVU. This is the building that's on the UVU campus. And they actually have a thing called the Intermountain Intelligence Industry and Security Consortium, the I3SC, which is a university industry partnership led by UVU Center for National Security Studies and USU's Center for Anticipatory Intelligence. And there's that word again, Intermountain, if you remember Intermountain Healthcare, right? It just couldn't help but have that stand out to me. And so you're just in an environment where Intermountain Healthcare seems to own all of the medical facilities around, and a lot of the medical planes that are flying happen to be owned by a company that's owned by an Intermountain Healthcare company, an Intermountain Intelligence. And maybe it's just names. Maybe it's just naming conventions. I haven't dug deep enough, and I don't necessarily even think it's going to be very fruitful to dig that deep into it. But it is not hard to dig this stuff up and to realize that we're dealing with an environment where this is the company that the second in command at CAI has been a high-level member of this company for a long time. It goes on and on and on.
Why do you think these intelligence agencies are so active in Utah? I went to college in Alabama. I don't recall there being a massive CIA.
Traditionally, they recruited at Ivy Leagues, because traditionally Ivy Leagues was where you could get people that were from the aristocracy, kids that were from money, that were
psychopaths.
Psychopaths, and also people that were really good at checking boxes and following orders and doing what they were told to achieve the mission, being getting into Ivy Leagues. It was always an old boys club in the intelligence communities, and they recruited from the old boys club universities. But in this new era, they're clearly branching out from that. And and this is not news, there's a long history of the CIA recruiting from the LDS faith for whatever reason. Okay. And Utah being a Mormon hub, and Utah being the seat of the new CIA recruiting programs, both of these things sort of swirling around this case, it's just a lot of color. And I think if I were to speculate on it right now, and this is how I always think, is like, if this theory is true, what would that mean? If this theory were true, how would these facts fit into place? And what would you actually be looking at? And I do this for every different theory. And so if Tyler Robinson were recruited by some sort of intelligence agency operation. It wouldn't be him going to the actual classes and going to the actual school and taking the normal pipeline. It would be something along the lines of bumping into someone at school that offers a different direction, or that just keeps tabs on them. Maybe they're looking for loners. Maybe they're looking for people of a certain disposition. Who knows? And the suspicious part is actually not that he went to the school. The suspicious part in my mind is that he dropped out of the school, right? After one semester.
One semester.
Yeah. And then he goes into this electrical engineering kind of program that I have not actually worked to confirm yet. It occurred to me today in rehashing the story that it would be interesting to try to confirm with people that go to that small community college, if anyone knows Tyler Robinson from that community college, if he was attending classes at that community college, because he was allegedly attending classes there for quite some time and working as an electrician to make money. And I have some questions just because it's just weird. And I suspect that it would check out, but I don't know.
So that's one area that I don't feel like has been run down. Another area is I don't feel like the neighbors have been prodded enough.
No.
The neighbors where Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson would host their Magic the Gathering group, where they would host their friends over. Several of the neighbors said they saw strange cars in the weeks and months leading up to the Charlie Kirk assassination. They saw out-of-state plates. They saw tinted windows. And, you know, I'm curious why when Casey Anthony was charged with, and I say that because she now lives near us, but when Casey Anthony was charged with murder, they were camped out of her house. The news was camped outside of her house forever. They harassed her mom. I mean, every day there was somebody broadcasting live. They were
That's
talking.
where you're supposed to look.
Why has
in
no
that
one gone to
case.
the neighbors? Why has no one gone to the neighbors? Why has CNN not gone to the neighbors and say, "What did you see?" You know, with your gigantic old
Look at the
school
negative space, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I was just doing that show with Tucker about Las Vegas shooting. And it's the same thing again. It's like where the media ignores, where the media avoids the story, where normally they'd be in it, where normally they'd have cameras everywhere, where normally they'd be filling you with emotion and with narrative, and they're not there. That is very suspect to me. And the reason why Baron and I got to talk about this earlier, and I'd be curious I never actually got you to kind of rehash your thoughts for me here, is that we're a long ways from the true trial, but we're sort of in the pre-trial phases now. And we've had our first public court appearance of Tyler Robinson, and everything, the main narrative was all to like his trans tie and how he was smiling and laughing. And there's this fake lip reading that's totally not Fedivance about how he said that he was so happy that he did it. And it's like, okay, so a huge question in my mind that I think we should all be asking is, was Tyler Robinson duped into being a patsy? Or is Tyler Robinson a willing patsy, right? Because that is a very different trial that we're about to see, depending on the two. And since you have experience with trials, Baron, I want to hear your take on.
Well, I was going to say, if he is a willing patsy, I don't know that you'll get a trial.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a duped patsy, he might think, you know, like I feel like Lee Harvey Oswald was a duped patsy.
I agree.
Because
Completely.
Lee Harvey Oswald, what were some of his final words? I'm a patsy. I didn't do it.
I'm a patsy. I didn't shoot anyone.
And then Jack Ruby takes him down. Man, have you ever gone deep on the Jack Ruby train?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
You know who I want to interview is the problem is I can't keep it to one subject because he's so knowledgeable. I'd love to interview Roger Stone on JFK.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I could get him on. Like I've got a good friend of mine who's a very good friend of his. I would love to get him to go deep on that. But the Jack Ruby Lee Harvey Oswald scenario, I don't feel like that dynamic exists here because I don't believe that Tyler Robinson is an unwitting patsy.
I suspect you are correct.
I think
so.
He's
Then the next question is: do you think he was recruited? Do you think that Tyler was recruited, or do you think that Lance was blackmailed or recruited, and then Tyler? And obviously, this is pure speculation at this point.
Sure.
But do you think it's more likely that Tyler was the recruited one that brought these guys, these random kids, into this plot? Or do you think it's more likely that Lance was blackmailed for something untowards, and then Tyler was drug into it to protect Lance?
So I love decision trees.
Or a combination of both.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever picked up on my decision trees, but
yeah,
I do believe he is a willing patsy, meaning he went along with a plan. He showed up at UVU, and I know people. I get the emails, I get your super chats, and people say, "Oh, you got to prove it." I'm just telling you, it's a gut instinct. He showed up at UVU intending to be part of a crime. I don't think he jumped off of the Losi Center. I don't think he fired a weapon. But I think he showed up thinking he was part of a scheme that was going to result in Charlie Kirk's death. I do believe that.
And I suspect that he knew his rifle was involved in the scheme.
I think he took his rifle.
Yeah.
That's my
I
guess.
suspect that he knew his rifle was going to be the murder weapon and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, or he thought it would
the-
be the murder weapon.
Yeah, the alleged
Yeah.
murder weapon.
But so how do you end up a willing Patsy? Because again, someone made this point today, and I can't remember. I think it was Candace right before we came on. It's not like Charlie was a huge opponent of the LGBTQ community. Like
He was critical, just like everyone else on the right wing.
I mean, he spoke out against gay marriage, but look at his staff.
Yeah.
That became a product.
Look
Look
at
the people.
TPUSA's events.
Hey,
Look at Grinder at a
Oh,
TPUSA
God.
event.
there's a reason Grinder crashed in Phoenix at AmFed.
Yeah.
So I think what happened was, I don't think it was Tyler Robinson sitting around wringing his hands saying, I just can't believe this guy's against gay marriage. Well, I mean, like half the country's against gay marriage, right? So settle down. But if you look, I mean, he surrounds himself with sexual deviants. He surrounds himself with, I stole that line from Candace today as well.
Let's say closeted gay men allegedly.
I mean, even if they're not, they look like it.
Yeah. They act like it.
I mean, we've all seen Mikey McCoy on camera. Anyway, so I don't think he was truly motivated by what we're told he was motivated by.
No.
I think what likely happened is when you have a guy like Lance Twiggs, who is allegedly transitioning, who, you know, was exploring all facets of his sexuality, and then you got a guy like Tyler Robinson, there's nobody in the house to pump the brakes. There's nobody in the house that's like, hey, we shouldn't go down this road. This is dangerous. You know, I hear what you're saying, but we're not going to look that up on the internet. I hear what you're saying, but we're not going to call that person. We're not going to meet that kid. We're not going to do these things. And I think one of a couple things happened. One is they showed up at a Chris Hansen type meeting, but it wasn't Chris Hansen. It was step over here. We started as the Office of Secret whatever OSS. Now we're CIA. Join us or die. Okay, so that's like option one. Or it was one of those things where they were just looking at things online. They didn't necessarily go and act on it, but they might have been seeing things online, and then they get the call from the agent who says, hey, you need to come in. We're going to have to talk to you. Don't
You're
worry
in a
about
lot
things.
of trouble, but I think we have a solution.
Sure, we can get you out of this. And then they sort of get developed over time, and we just need you to show up at UVU, take your gun. It's going to be a thing, but don't worry. We've got it all under control.
Got your back. You're going to be fine. You'll be all set up when it's done.
Yep.
Whatever
We'll put some money in the account for you. Don't worry. You're going to get hassled small. And so, you know, there's a likelihood that, that he is a willing Patsy.
You know, another version of that I suspect is that Lance might have had something like that in his past that Tyler wasn't necessarily a part of at first, but then because often fear is often not like fear for yourself might not always be as good of a motivator as fear for someone you care about and trying to save someone you care about. And Tyler, their relationship, what we do know about it, you know, sketchy as it may be, it does fit in my mind the pattern of a savior mentality, of a, I can fix him, I can save him mentality. And so if Lance got himself into trouble that was going to put him away for a lot of years, especially if you make it sound scary, I could see maybe the psychology is then, hey, Tyler, Lance is in a lot of trouble, but we have a job for you. Me?
I think you froze for just a second, but you're back. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still here. And so it's like if they get Lance on something, they go to Tyler like, listen, Lance is in a lot of trouble, but there's something you can do about it. We need help with something, and you can save Lance, and we'll make it all go away. We'll protect him and all those things. You just have to play ball. And then you wind up in a dynamic where they've got Lance right now, and Tyler's playing ball. And so they have the leverage they need to keep Tyler playing ball. And Tyler believes he has the leverage that he needs in order to keeping Lance safe, so to speak.
Where's Lance today? Just speculative. This is just us guessing. All this is just guessing.
My speculation would be that Lance Twiggs is either not among the living anymore, or he's very much in witness protection type of a situation, put away and probably never coming back out.
Not among the living. Explain.
There's a lot of versions of this scenario where Lance Twiggs knows way too effing much, and he is way too loose of a thread with way too loose of a mind to let him walk around.
So why would his parents just allow that? I mean, why wouldn't they be saying, "Where's our kid"?
Well, I haven't looked enough into Lance Twiggs' parents. Are they like regular people that are out in the world and like, yeah, that's it. So,
Normies.
well, hey, if their kid did something unspeakable and they get the same visit saying like, listen, your kid is going away for life right now. I don't know how his Mormon family would grapple with that. I don't know how they would shut up about that. There's a lot of secret keeping in the Mormon church, though. I know that just like every other community, just like every other strong religious community, the Mormon community is in no ways immune to shame secret keeping.
Hey, so let me tell. I know you only got 12 minutes left before you got to run, but I actually started 2 minutes early, so you have 15 minutes left.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Early on my law practice, I was a puppy lawyer. I get deployed by the little firm I was working at. The first couple of years I was working, I get deployed by my firm to a little small town, hour or two, maybe 3 hours away from where I lived at the time. And I'm supposed to interview this guy about an accident he saw. And this is a dinky little town in Alabama. I can't say where because of the story I'm about to tell. Dinky little town in Alabama. And this guy
kind of like Panguitch, Utah, dinky little town.
Kinda. He has the strongest New York accent I've ever heard. And I'm asking him questions like, what the hell are you doing here? He's like, man, I've been here for 30 years. I'm like, why? What? And he's like, well, you got to shut up. You just got to shut up. You got to stop asking so many questions. Turns out he finally, after I go and visit him a few times and we're really getting down, like prepping for trial, he tells me he's in witness protection. That the name I've been calling him, he was given 30 years ago. He's not seen his family talk to anyone in decades.
Yep.
Yeah. I earned his trust and he told me all that.
That's
and
wild.
I no one would ever be able to figure it out, but he has been gone so long. He's probably dead by now because he was like 80 at the time. And that was 15. That was 20 plus years ago. So
yeah, witness protection doesn't mess around.
No, he was vanished off the planet.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if this kid is got a new haircut and a new name, and he's working at Publix in.
But that being said, witness protection is usually for a legitimate government purpose and a legitimate protective purpose, as opposed to being an asset or accomplice or witness to one of the largest cover-ups of our generation. And I think that if you're dealing with a plot that can murder Charlie Kirk, then you're dealing with a plot that has no problem offing this problematic witness that no one even knows where he is.
Do you think it's possible that Lance just set him up because he's a psychopath?
I think the mechanics could be in place, but then how do you get Tyler Robinson doing what he's doing today? And how do you get his attorneys not fighting for him and him smiling with them in court, right? He very much seems to be cozy with his attorneys, and his attorneys aren't doing any of the things that you might expect them to be doing, like going and talking to the people at the old Cowboys Smokehouse Cafe and Steakhouse that Candace was talking about today, or going to the Dairy Queen, or calling any of these other leads that might have information to help get Tyler Robinson off, right?
Hey, let me tell you, I saw this. I never thought I would be turned on by food in Utah. But look at
they do it right.
I was looking at this smokehouse where Tyler Robinson allegedly had dinner after the Big Bang.
Hey, our boys got taste. It's either DQ or classic smokehouse.
I was like, I could eat at this place. Like, look at that nice sliced turkey right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to the Cowboy Smokehouse. And shout out to whoever at the Cowboy Smokehouse had the cojones to, throw, or someone around the Cowboy Smokehouse. I don't know who they were. Threw something in the tip line.
Yeah. And shout out to Candace for running it down. It's
for real.
It's gotta be hard. Yeah, it's that was an interesting wrinkle she put out today that
that you were pointing out earlier that correlates with his stop for gas that the public uncovered. Not the feds, but the public seemed to have uncovered that stop for gas.
The feds didn't call either of the people that had original footage of the alleged shooter running off Losi Center. Neither one. Before Candace called him. Now maybe they have since. They did not call Harrison Smith asking him, who told you that Charlie said he thought the Israelis were going to kill him? Who told you that? They never called him. They never called people at the smokehouse, even though they've known now for months that Tyler Robinson enjoyed a nice steak and mashed potato dinner following the largest political assassination in 50 years.
So to me, that all adds up to a willing Patsy.
What do you make of? I'm not trying to throw bombs here, but Do you have an opinion on Dan Bongino's coming back the way he's coming back?
I've lost a lot of faith in Dan. I understand that when you get into that position, you are forced to see and hear things that you can't talk about that are unforgivable and unbefitting of a mortal man. But at the same time, I don't think there's any coming back for his reputation.
I honestly don't either. I forgot to pull
I mean,
this
if I were Dan Bongino, I like to think that I'd come back and I'd be like, no, I won't say anything. I won't say anything. I won't say anything. And then just like drop it all on one live stream and then go and turn myself into the police immediately. I like to think I would do that. I don't know if I would.
I wouldn't do it.
Because you have to imagine that there's, greater threats than to your own person.
What do you make of him attacking? I mean, for lack of a better group of people, you, me, Candace, all the people he's calling black pillars because we don't buy the Fed slop narrative on all these various crimes like Epstein and Charlie Kirk.
You're talking about Dan Bongino, not Alex Jones, right?
Yes, it's the
I
same.
just have to clarify. That's where we're at now. Is I just had to clarify.
Yeah, it's the
But
same.
yeah, I think that's really weird. I mean, that's bizarre. So I just played the other day on one of my live streams, Dan Bongino's clip where before he went in, he was the one talking about how his source at Fox News told him that Epstein worked for a country in the Middle East and I don't even know who they are. It's like, Dan, you can't be this dumb and also like be what you portray yourself to be. And then you get in, it's like, there's something that's not adding up here. And if I'm being really generous, I can chalk it up to frustration with being unable to share the truth and being like, F it, I'm out. That's the most generous I can get, which is still pretty shitty of him because you're helping cover up Epstein.
I thought he was going to come back out and just say, hey, let me just get back in the rhythm. Let me get back on the horse. Let me get back in the saddle, get my show going again. And then over time, I will work with my attorneys, work with the ethics offices, and I will determine what it is I can share with you, what I'm not able to for whatever reason. But instead, he just came out just absolutely firing bombs. I mean, his first...
Wait, I haven't seen any of his shows yet.
No, I'm talking about his Twitter feed. Have you seen it?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, bro, you got to check it out. I can pull some of it up.
Yeah, dude.
But he uses a little fouler mouth than we normally
really
cover here on this program. But yeah, let me where is the Dan Bongino? Oh, here we go. Yeah, dude.
I mean, he is already retweeting Tim Pool.
Oh, no, hold on. I got to show you the first one here. Here it is. Yeah, you're going to love this. I know you got a few minutes left. I got time to share this with you. This is how Dan Bongino reintroduced himself to the public. Let me add this from the jump. There's no confusion. I started this movement as a candidate during the Tea Party movement.
Oh, did you?
And I began my political commentary shortly thereafter. I helped build this movement. Hey, anytime somebody comes in and they're like, "You're messing with a founder," they lose instant credibility with me.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care.
I'll be the one to tell you what we're allowed to think. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I sure as hell am not going to let this get hijacked by a group of black pillars, life losers, grifters, and bums.
Cool, Dan.
I'm not going to let it get hijacked by somebody who doesn't use the Oxford comma.
I'm not going to let it get hijacked by somebody who's never read One Nation Under Blackmail, Dan. You should buy it. You should read it. Maybe then you know what the heck you're talking about.
His whole timeline is this way. It is just bomb after bomb. You ought to get on there and check it out. That's what I mean. Like, I would have come out with a little bit of humility. I went in telling people I was going to get to the bottom of Epstein and get to the bottom of what happened.
The room, Danny boy.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, while you've been there, life has moved on.
Yeah.
The movement is still sitting back wanting what we were promised during the 2024 election.
What you were explicitly put in to give us.
Yeah.
And explicitly promised us you would do on day one.
Yeah. Like, I still want Hillary locked up.
Yeah.
I still want to know where the 30,000 emails are.
And Bill. And all the rest of them.
That's the thing is, I have never moved on from any of these things. I have never moved on from one single iota of any of these issues.
No.
I want all the January
you shouldn't.
people locked up. I want the Hunter Biden locked up. I don't care how cute he was on Tucker Carlson. Now, he wasn't as good as you on Tucker Carlson.
Hey,
If you've not checked out Ian on Tucker Carlson,
I should have
go
smoked a
check
bunch
him out.
more crack before I went on Tucker. Maybe I would have been cuter.
Cernovich tried that approach.
Yeah, I saw that today, and I was like, yeah, let's not comment on it.
Yeah, no, I like Mike. I don't dislike Mike. I don't always agree with him. But I have liked him for many, many years. And he's a sharp guy.
He's just not very sharp when it comes to 30-06s hitting necks, apparently.
I was just very disappointed in his interview. Honestly,
Yeah.
I can't, on almost every issue. I thought, man, where's Mike gone?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's sort of taking a back seat to the public life. But no,
Yeah, it's interesting to see the divides in alternative media personalities and try to understand what of it is authentic and what of it is inauthentic in terms of who is buying this Fed narrative and who's not, because it is a real interesting dividing line amongst commentators and amongst people that have credibility, have been here, have been around. A lot of people have exposed themselves as being either completely paid for, or as being just dumb, or as being questionable. Like you saw the footage that Alex Jones was talking about coming out and touring with TPUSA. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean,
that's uncomfortable, bro.
So I always tell people my favorite part of Donald Trump in 2016 is he broke down the narrative that there were Republicans and Democrats, and that was the big divide in America.
Yeah.
What he showed was, no, there's a giant uniparty that's like 85% of the elected officials in commentariat. And then there's everybody else who's like 15%. And some of those are on the right, some of those are on the left. But it's us versus them. And I still feel like I'm in the 15% looking back at Goliath going, but I always felt like I had people on the team with me, like Cernovich, like Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And I thought I had these same people, initially. I'd say back in 2015, I kind of thought Ben Shapiro might be one of those people, or Sean Hannity might be one of those people.
Yeah.
And then you look and you get through here and you're like, no, it's Tucker, it's Candace, it's Ian. I've got like 5 people that are still out there.
There's not a whole lot.
No. So,
but the nice thing is that the independent media is spawning more every day. The difficult thing is that it's spawning more feds every day too, and it's hard to distinguish what's what. And I've taken to the approach of just not trusting anybody and and just verifying everything for myself and just open source reporting everything. And especially, I was talking to Sean Johnson on his podcast last night, and I think it's coming out tomorrow. And we were talking about how do you like see through it all? And what I was talking, he was making an analogy to the casino I forget. And I was like, I don't think that's a good analogy, man. You're making an analogy to like the casino people betting against the house. And it's like, no, it's like the better analogy is don't watch the people, watch the house, because a casino doesn't want the professional gamblers in there. They want the stooges. They want the NPCs to come in and just give their money away. But when a professional gambler walks into a casino, they don't get treated good. They don't get treated the same way. They kick them out. If you're counting cards, if you're winning at their game, they kick you out, and they will do everything they can to harass you and like try to take your winnings and whatever they can to ban you. And what I do now is when I look at the media environment, I look for who are those professional gamblers that the casino is trying to kick out. Because the people that the fish at the table, the big high rollers that are spending all their money, that seem to be the center of attention, the stars of the show when everything's going normally, it's like, oh, it'd be easy to think that guy is, the guy that's going to give me my news. But then you realize when the chips are really down on the table, you realize that it's the ones that the casino doesn't want at the table. They're the ones that are not singing the same song as everybody else. And I think the Charlie Kirk investigation, more so than almost any investigation, has exposed the sharks and the fish, has exposed who's on the team and who's not, or at least who's willing to parrot the narrative for the right price or the right threats or the right whatever it is, right?
It's Trump 2.0. Trump came in 2016 and he showed us who was America first and who was part of the Uniparty beast and swamp. And then he left, and when he came back the second time, now we're having to reevaluate, but it's Charlie
Something
Kirk.
had changed.
Yeah.
You know?
If you would have told me 12 months ago, you know, a month before Trump took office, Trump 2.0 took office, if you'd have told me, hey, 1 year from now, Alex Jones is going to be parroting the TPUSA line and speaking at their events, I couldn't have imagined a scenario.
Yeah.
Could not have imagined a scenario.
Yeah.
Ian, do you have to run or do you want to hang out?
Yeah, I do have to run. I got to go get ready, but it has been real, man. It's been a real pleasure. And thanks for having me on.
I think we peaked over 35,000 live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I don't get to see the live viewers on my end of the screen here.
Yeah, we're at 34.6 right now. We peaked over 35,000.
Dude, you've had the most incredible rise and well-deserved of anyone on YouTube this year. It's so cool to watch. And it's so cool because you're like I have to watch your show every day because I have to keep up with what you're doing because you just keep breaking new stuff. You keep pushing the investigation forwards. Like you are like absolutely changing the game out here. And so it's so cool to be a part of it and to learn from you and to get to do a show with you. It's awesome, man.
Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be here. There wouldn't be 35,000 people watching the two of us if I wasn't driving to Kroger to get gas one day. And I had the phone on my dashboard and I heard you say, hey, I'm going to spend tonight. I'm going to go over about 2 hours worth of this new guy I just found. I watched 20 hours of his stuff the last couple of days. His name's Baron Coleman. I was like,
yeah, I did the deep dive on all your early Google Trends content.
Yeah, I had to call my wife and say, hey, turn Ian on real quick. This is
But that's the cool thing about the media environment now is that it's like if you provide value to the narratives, the questions, the things we all want to know, anyone that provides value can immediately be valuable because it's like we just like anyone can turn on a camera and investigate and share something that changes the case. And the Google Trends were a great example of something that changed the case early on. And you've just kept on that same spirit of just investigating all sorts of different leads and bringing all kinds of great perspective to it. So
I have a lot of fun.
Really cool to watch.
I got you to thank. If you are watching on Ian's channel, come over, give me a subscribe, give me a like on the video. If you're watching on my channel on Baron Coleman or Real Baron Podcast, flip over, click on Ian's, click a like, click a subscribe there. And Ian, I've enjoyed this. I'm going to stay on a little bit.
I suspect that if you're watching on my YouTube, I suspect that it's about to die on you and you got to go over to Baron to watch the rest of the show. And I do highly encourage you to do that because Baron is always dropping both sass, spice, humor, and a whole bunch of like actual really interesting information. So
I've been
thanks for having me on,
tonight.
Man.
I've been very calm tonight.
You have been. Yeah, I think I've helped you mellow out.
Yeah.
And Joe we didn't have time to read Joe's chats tonight. So
someone said earlier there it's bad cop and chill cop. You're the chill cop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, man.
So,
I appreciate it. We'll do it again.
It's been real, and we'll definitely do it again, man. Hey, everybody, thanks for having me on. Baron's audience. I love you guys. Thanks, chat. Y'all are the best. I'll see you next time.
All right, guys. Let me run through some of these super chats again. I appreciate you hanging on. This has been great, Ian. We've been trying to get one of these shows together for quite some time, and we're finally able to do it. Finally able to get it together. So let me know if you let me know if I'm still on air. I don't even know. Okay, yeah. I think I'm still on. So let me run through some of these super chats. And we'll kind of finish like we do a normal show. Baron and Ian, the irony of independent media on YouTube not being beholden to sponsors or donors burns me up as much as I watch how much you have to self-censor. Thoughts, also mad respect to you both. P.S. Birmingham hamster. My thoughts on that, yes, we still have to self-censor because we still are operating in their environment. We are still on a GOOGLE platform, right? We are still YOUTUBE is still owned by GOOGLE. And so, yes, I have to CENSOR. That's just part of it. You got to play the game with the hand you're dealt. You got to play by the rules that exist in the game. So, Curious Joel. Bold prediction. Baron and Ian are in matching magenta hoodies tonight. Wrong. Text on both hoodies reads, I'm with homie, and has a finger that points in the direction of the other person. For real, though, Coleman, Carroll, stop the slop 28 ticket. I'm down as long as he'll be the president and I can be the vice president. I think he's old enough to be president, right? He's 35, isn't he? I notice he has no gray hair in his mustache, so he's not much older than 35, but I think he's 35. So I'll give him the top of the ticket. I'll be on the couch. I'll be in the pool. I'll just be flying around on the SAM flights, visiting the world, having a good time. About to drop my story that Yanni Bourne, New York City, Harvard, 6768, back to Israel for duty, dies, Operation Thunderbolt. July 76, Barack help plan. Epstein, born New York City, appears late, 76, handwriting man. That's a lot of stuff. I'm not following it, but I do want to see that story. So please send me an email with a link to that. I would like to watch that because I want to see. You've been talking about it for a while, and I'm curious to watch it. Very, very genuinely curious to watch it. So thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And thank you for sending that my way. And I look forward to the opportunity to see that. Regulators mount up. Just hit the end of Mrs. Candace on a mission trying to find hit the end of Mrs. C on a mission trying to find Baron and E and C. See, in a car full of security G's, ain't no need to tweak because we all know what's up with Harpo's integrity. The 40-somethings know the beat. Yes, we do. We are Warren G fans. All of us just common sensing it. Thank you for that. Very, very generous donation. Yo, my favorite sleuth guys got the FOIA sent for the sign-in sheets, both buildings. Now you go outside, you kid. Hey, thank you for doing that. We need more citizen. Look, when Ian was talking about citizen journalists at the end, this is exactly what he's talking about. Get outside, get your camera and start looking at stuff. Talk to people, make phone calls, send text messages, file the FOIAs, bring it all to the surface. If you don't have your own YouTube, you don't have your own Twitter to break these things. If you have a Twitter feed and you break news and it's good, it's going to rise. I mean, people will figure out where it is. But if not, send it to a tip line. Send it to Candace. Send it to Ian. Send it to me. We will get it out. We will get it out. Love your show. My husband delivered a package to your house today. He got a picture with you, and I got your autograph. I remember that. Thank you for helping us find the truth. I don't know if you want me to say your name, so I'm not going to, but hi. Hello. I won't say your name out loud next to the angel, but yes, that did happen. And we took a nice picture and had a good chat. He's a great guy. You got yourself a keeper. Hang on tight. Hang on tight. Ian, do not let Baron touch any technology. See? And he was the one that came in on mute. Baron, I'm being 31. At 31, it doesn't even hurt to sleep. That's the sweet spot right there. It really is, Ross. It really is. I woke up this morning and both my shoulders hurt. And I thought, how did I hurt shoulders in my sleep? I didn't do anything today. I'm here to bet green on the Adidas sweatshirt since he switched up and wore red to show his rage yesterday. I tried to drop in every show with 20 to support Real Baron Podcast, especially since you're a real professional now. Thank you, Caitlin. I do appreciate that. Let me say something about that real quickly while we're going through Super Chats. Often, not every show, but often I get more Super Chats than I could possibly read. And I want to be very sincere when I tell you this. I love everyone. I do read everyone. I go back after the show. I promise you, I sit down and I read every single one. Now, and a lot of them I read while I'm going. But I cannot bring everyone to the surface. I had over 400 Super Chats yesterday. I think I ended up reading well over 200 of them, but I did skip quite a few because I can't get to them all. But when you give a Super Chat, it will reach me, even if I don't pull it up on screen and read it out loud. I do read it. I do see it. Plus, it is marked with a color so that as the chat is going by, other people will see it, and it's preserved at the top, so you'll get your message out to them as well. But just, I'm telling you, I cannot pull up every single one. But I do want to pull this one up because I am very dearly sorry. I kind of did make fun of your dead cat, but the comedy is worth it. The comedy's worth it, and you forgave me, so it worked out on both. It worked out on both. Was Martin Luther King Jr. also killed by an exploding mic, or do we believe it was a 30-06? I don't know what killed him. I do know that if he was hit by a 30-06, it did substantially more damage than it did to Charlie Kirk. Go look at the autopsy drawings. They don't have the photos, I don't believe, released to Martin Luther King, but they do have the drawing, and the whole side of his neck is missing. So I just don't. I don't know if that's the point you're making. How can Candace be helped legally to get Ben Shapiro to stop harassing her since he fired her? I don't think he can. I mean, he's free to make parody content if he wants. He's free to appropriate her content for commercial purposes if he is using it for fair use under copyright law here in the United States. He is free to use it for however it is he uses it for oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know the right word I'm looking for, but he's free to use it. Now, morally, is it shameful? Sure. Is it more midget horse behavior? Yes. Poor midget horse, but it's midget horse behavior. But now he's on it. Alex is on that midget horse. Blinking Gary's on the midget horse. I mean, the midget horse is doing so much work right now. So much work right now. With my two favorite commentary guys going max together, I had to send my first ever super. Truth is stranger than fiction. We don't Joe because we know. Thank you, Amy. That's a different spin on the we don't Joe, but we Joe. We don't Joe because we know. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. IQ overload coming. Gentlemen, start your engines. Yes, we had a big time. For the Hiller reference last night. CrossFit. I got mad season. I got so I didn't know if anyone would pick up on that Hiller reference. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was me going, is that true? I'll be honest. Hey, this mad season, this is for you. When I was watching my subscription numbers, I realized quickly that I was about to cross Hiller, and it was a true moment. Like I had an emotional reaction. Mrs. Coleman can tell you that. I had a very emotional reaction to that because I had looked at Hiller as like somebody I looked up to. I love his content. And that was interesting. That was interesting. I don't believe Charlie faked it. This person says Charlie faked it. He sees Hunter, looks at the master key. I don't think Charlie faked it. I think he's dead. But there is a question in my mind, and I don't know that everybody believes this, but there is at least a question in my mind whether or not Charlie knew something was happening. And then someone took advantage of that to take him out. I don't know that. I have explored that mentally. This is a mental exercise for me. I don't know, but I don't even know. It's possible Charlie thought he was in on some kind of faking, and then he was taken out anyway. That's possible. I've explored it. I'm not saying it's even more than 50% likely. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying I have mentally run through that exercise. Best night ever. Love Ian and Barron. Well, we love you living for his glory daily. That's a fact. Hey, Bays, God bless you both. You and Ian. God bless you both. You guys are fantastic. Thank you, Bays. Very, very kind gift. So excited. Thank you for doing this collab, watching both of you to support you both. Well, thank you, Just Say Julie. We like that kind of profligate internet bandwidth consumption. As someone who considers themselves an agnostic theist, that's an interesting, I've never heard of that. I'll explore that in just a second. The way organizations like TP have commercialized faith in Christianity is disgusting. They are capitalistic, performative Christians who use the faith as a shield from criticism. Let me explore real quickly the idea of an agnostic theist. So the Latin A means without. Gnostic means knowledge. I am without knowledge. Well, if you're without knowledge of whether or not there's a God, you are without belief of a God. You've not yet been convinced there's a God. So you're an atheist. No, I mean, it sounds ugly, but it's just, logically, that's how it flows. It's axiomatic that if you're without knowledge that there's a God, then you are without belief in a God, because you can't believe in something you don't know exists. So I've never heard someone describe themselves as an agnostic theist. That's a little different. But I'll allow it. For all those A books. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. On the Grumblers got a super coming in. Nice key lime pie colored hoodie. Please look for an email I sent of shrapnel passing through CK's legs. Slowed down. Great collaboration with Ian tonight. You guys are doing the Lord's work. Well, thank you. That was very kind of you. That was very kind. And I'll look for it. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Let me see here. Yeah, there it is. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the program. Subscribe to Ian as well. Subscribe to me. Hit notifications. Hit like. Subscribe, like, notifications, all that good stuff. Oh, and don't forget, you can do that. I don't want to say it too loud on the air, but you're more than welcome to do that as well. That's a way to support the program. Two of my favorite homies. Well, you are two of my favorite homies, Abby Landis. Ian is definitely one of my favorite homies, and now you have been elevated. You have been elevated to the game. Family of 10, stacked like sardines on my bed, watching our favorite YouTubers. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Well, thank you, Daily YouTube. Sure do appreciate it. Very, very kind of mine. Very, very kind. Fired my 30-06 yesterday. Ain't no blanking way, bruh. Yeah, that's the way I feel, Highway Nikki. That's the way I feel. I fired a 30-06, also known as a cannon. Also known as a cannon. Favorite podcast is finally together. Love this. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Again, if you guys don't join us, it's just Ian and Baron talking to each other, and that's not very fun. That's not very fun. But when you join us, the whole show takes on a different dynamic. Charlie's neck was pierced by his necklace pendant. Totally unexpected. Reason for the Fed's sloppy aftermath. The one thing they couldn't plan for. So like 50% of me believes his neck was pierced by the pendant, and 50% of me, or like 49.44% of me believes that his neck was pierced by something else under his shirt, perhaps a shaped charge coming out of the microphone. I don't know. I just know it wasn't a 30-06. I know it wasn't a 30-06 because I'm with Highway Nikki. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no blanking way. Charlie's neck. Oh, yeah, I just read that one. That's right. Obsessed with this duo. Well, thank you, my Newfie sisters or Newfie sisters. This might be tinfoil hat territory. Well, you've come to the right place. Crash and burn. Anytime you want to put on your tinfoil hat, you just come on in. The water's warm over here. I think Erica and JD Vance might secretly be brother and sister. They look identical, both from Ohio. There's a lot of people from Ohio. You really think that? You really think that? That's wild. Hold on. Erica Kirk and JD Vance side by side. Let me check this out here. Get some images of them side by side. I will let you guys watch as I look side by side. Let's look together. Erica Kirk and JD Vance side by side. Well, that one kind of, actually. They both have kind of pudgy faces. You know what they both remind me of? This is going to be ugly, and I shouldn't say it. My wife would tell me every time I say out loud, this is going to be ugly, and I shouldn't say it, that I ought not say it, but I'm probably going to. They both remind me of like really fat kids just dying to get out. Like deep inside their body, like they're both pretty good looking people. They're both pretty fit, you know, in shape, but both of them just seem like just screaming fat kids banging on that skin suit. Like, let me out of here. Give me some Oreos. I want a whole stack of Oreos. Get me out of here, please. That's what they remind me of. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if they're brother or sister or not, but they both have that kind of thing going for them. The podium shadow at AmFest confirmed it. Erica has a tail. Yes. I promised Ian I wouldn't do Erica's voice tonight. I promised him. I said, hey, if you come on, I will not do Erica's demon voice. And he said, deal. Confirmed. So I'm going to stick with it, even though he's gone. Has there ever been a grieving widow in history that one asked to be videotaped crying over her husband in a casket and publicly shared? That was creepy and weird. 2, repeatedly lie about her husband's murder. Also creepy and weird. Not fire or sue his security. Hold, please. hold, please. Sick monster. Well, I'm not going to comment on that last two words, but I think the not fire his security might be a little premature to guess that, but the lying and the I'm sorry, guys, that was weird. The whole like whispering to his coffin while somebody's videoing you with an iPhone 20. Or no, I mean, come on, that's weird. That's weird. It's even weirder if they weren't like surreptitiously doing it with an iPhone, but they had like a, one of those whole cameras on a gimbal, and they were walking around and they're like, lean in, really put your hands on top of his head. Oh yeah, get in there, good girl. It's like a really bad OnlyFans. Like necrophilia had a kind of feel. It was creepy. Absolutely creepy. I'm late. Watching on breakneck speed. You can't watch it at that speed. You wouldn't be able to understand what was happening. It would tear up your feed. No, there's no internet service that provides breakneck speed. No. You two and Candace and Tucker equals truth. Can y'all run this country, please? Happy to do so. I'm serious. Thanks for doing what you're doing. Only trust you for right now. Now, listen, if we're going to do that, if we can have Ian be president, I don't want to be vice president anymore if we got all these people involved. We're going to put Tucker over the CIA. I'm just saying, that's just where we're going to put Tucker. Tucker gets CIA. I'll take the Secretary of State. I would be the best Secretary of State this country's ever had. And we could put Candace at... I want Candace at the Department of Defense. That's the lineup I want. I want Candace as the Secretary of War. I want me as Secretary of State. I want Tucker Carlson as CIA. Let's do OD&I. We'll give him the big job over there. He'll cover all the security agencies. I'm just messing around. I just know that's the shtick. Everybody says he's in the CIA, so I thought that's funny. And Ian can be president, and we'll just leave vice president open. No, because then we don't know who's the Speaker of the House. We're going to need a vice president. We'll put Colin in there. Coach Colin, are you free for the next 8 years? You're going to be the vice president? Is Ian single? No, he is not. Baron's bad cop energy and Ian's savage tech skills are priceless. God bless both of you. Yeah, that's a pretty salty combination, to be honest with you. We had a great conversation today in prepping for that show. And it was, I thought that, I think there's a lot still on the table on Charlie Kirk that is going to come out that we've not. There's a reason we recapped today. There's a reason Candace recapped yesterday. Things are about to, I think, kick into hyperdrive here. I'm so into Baron Ian combo, sassy and classy. Baron with the chill and smooth Ian epic bro collab. Thank you. Yeah, I thought I was on my best behavior, by the way. I was on my best behavior. Everybody wanted to see me lose my mind in front of Ian and embarrass myself. I waited until he got off the air to do that. Not going to do that in front of the president, the next president of the United States. President Carroll. Actually, you know what? There was a Carroll, Charles Carroll of Carrollton. He signed the Declaration of Independence, if you remember. He's the only person who signed the Declaration of Independence that put his address on it. Charles Carroll of Carrollton. Wonder if he's related to Ian. If not, Ian could tell people he is. Basically a descendant of a guy on the Declaration of Independence. Of course I should be the next president. My dad was a ballistics expert. I grew up hand-loading rounds and bullets when I was 13. We shot World War I 30-06 with a range of loads. Even the light rounds we loaded to condition me to the caliber were devastating. Yeah, Tamra, a 30-06 is just devastating. Hey, Edge, how you doing? Bro Lab, checking in. Hit that like button, people. Not a mod or associated here, but respect. It's respect and free. Yeah, hit the like button. And again, subscribe to both channels. Subscribe to both channels. Ian has done so much for this program. We're at 10,000 likes over here, so we'll allow that. Ian's done so much for this particular program. I can't even begin to describe what he's done. He's been fantastic, and I would not be here today without him. Certainly wouldn't be full-time without him. So his help and guidance every step of the way has Changed my life, honestly. Erica Proho Joe Kirk. Now, I don't know what Proho means. We're not going after people that way. Maybe the kids are, maybe that's like 6, 7 or something. I don't know what that means. This is the State of the Union for podcast. I emailed you today a banner I designed for the 2028 presidential run with you and Ian. Thank you both, Esmeralda. Thank you, Esmeralda. That's very kind of you. But again, I'm going to be the Secretary of State. So, Baron, I went back and watched Erica Kirk's sit-down interview. She's the queen of not ever answering the question she was asked. I would love for you to show how you'd handle this if you were cross-examining. Again, we've talked about this. The cross-examination requires ground rules. And when you're just interviewing somebody, you don't have the ground rules. And so it'd be very difficult for me to hold her to any kind of standard of cross-examination. I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I'm a former USMC ordnance expert. And when I heard the Frangible round story, I knew it was propaganda. This innocent doctor is the one who had this idea of a bullet that turns into powder. The doc would know the real CK wound. I'm not sure that's true. Hallelujah, Haven. I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure it was the innocent doctor who had the idea. I think that the idea might have been put in the doctor's mouth against his will. The real Jesse on Fire. Well, I watched the real Jesse on Fire. Is that really you? Just to add on to what Baron said, audibly, the difference between the relic Frangible rounds I purchased and any of the modern rounds we tested was enormous. Hard to estimate how many FPS were lost, but a lot. Still cut through meat and bone easily. That's excellent, excellent feedback, Jesse. Thank you for that. Love your show. A regular watcher. Try to catch as many as I can, probably 90% or more of them. So thank you for checking in with us. But yeah, that's an interesting tidbit there, because I thought originally if you guys got brand new frangible rounds, people would say, well, you know, he was using Granddaddy's World War II frangible rounds. Well, what you guys did was use Granddaddy's frangible rounds. And I mean, you just crushed whatever it put in front of it. So thanks for checking in. Blue Cheer, never wanted to say too much. You know what Blue Cheer is? Blue Cheer is the guy at the dinner party who doesn't say anything. And you have no idea if he approves of anything that was said, or if he's just like dominating the meeting. Is this some secret surreptitious agent that's gotten in? Is it subterfuge afoot? Baron, contact me about the Tennessee explosion. I have expertise that disproves the Tennessee on-site narrative. How am I going to contact you? That's the thing. I mean, you contact me. I can't contact you. I don't know who you are. But if you email me at realbaronpodcast@gmail.com, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com, I will be happy to talk to you about the Tennessee narrative. Do it quick, because there's going to be some developments on the Tennessee explosion in the next, let's say, 2 weeks. So email me soon, and we'll get that squared away. Could you do that for me? Trauma RN here. That wound was a tear. Anyone familiar with assessing patients will tell you that wasn't caused by a bullet. From the beginning, my brain knew an object tumbled into his neck at the jugular. Well, I think some people are saying maybe the bullet yawed and tumbled into his neck, but I don't believe that's true, particularly if it's a 30-06. Why am I so afraid to deep dive that he may be alive? Because I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I have seen the images. I have talked to people who saw him dead. I've talked to people who saw his body being prepared for burial. I mean, it's too many people, way too many people. He's dead. He's dead. I know people who were there and said it was like a firework that went off and something shot across the sky or fell or something like that was something that was reported. Can you get them in touch with me, Alyssa? Can you have them email realbaronpodcast@gmail.com? And in the subject line, put eyewitness, and I will open that email and read it and get in touch with them. Will you do that for me? Thank you. Baronian, watch a clip from Internet CK Files. Slow it down to see something in his shirt first. Yes, the back of his shirt first. Number 8, MP4. Well, I can't play that on air. They basically banned all of them. But let me pull up and see which one number 8 is, because I do have those right here. Okay, I see which one you're talking about. I think what you're seeing is an artifact of. I think what you're seeing is an artifact of the whatever caused his shirt to move so rapidly. I don't think it's cavitation, and I don't think it's something moving first in the back of his shirt. I think there's something that directed energy to the back of his shirt, and you saw his shirt go back, and you saw maybe some camera pixels frame to frame aren't as true as we think they are. When things move super fast, cameras get a little confused. And I think that's what people are confusing for cavitation. Ian, you can't ever do away with a stash. Not only is it one heck of a stash, it's a trademark. I bet you have a 5 o'clock shadow twice a day. We actually talked about that today. I kind of told him that. We were talking about it in the context of Cabot Phillips shaving his beard. And he was like, yeah, if I ever shave my mustache, I was like, dude, you cannot shave your mustache. Like, for better or worse, that baby is, you're like John, the John Bolton. Like John Bolton with the walrus stash, it was here to stay. Ian with the Ian stash, there's really nobody else that has one like it. That is here to stay. It's going nowhere. You better just get used to it. Baza. I love the Joe jokes so much. There's no way we will let the Charlie Kirk investigation Joe. I will forever Joe Max. Enjoy the NZ bucks. They are worth doo-doo all thanks to whoever that is. Hacinda Ardern, Name Hardware Store. I don't know what Name Hardware Store means, but thank you for the NZ bucks. For a camera gun that the purpose would be stealth and not to appear as a gun, eject a cartridge after the shot doesn't make the most sense to me. I'm going with ABS plastic too. Love what you guys do. Thank you, JWB. I am pretty confident that's ABS plastic that's falling from the tent that Ian did a great job with that video, by the way, to keep it clean. Make sure there was no Charlie Kirk in there. But yeah, just a piece of plastic falling from the top of the tent. I think he did a great job with that. And it looked to me like ABS plastic with a little shine on it from the light coming through the top of the tent. So this is a high IQ live chat, people. High IQ live chat. Keep that in mind. Thanks for all you do. It's not a bug. It's a feature. I thought you were saying it's a bug. It's not a bug. Yeah, I think it's ABS plastic, but also a feature. ABS plastic can also be a feature. So yeah, not a bug, but a feature. They used, let's see here. If you look at the opposite side of his neck, right prior to the wound in the beginning, I thought it could be been an entrance. Now it looks to be another fragment. Okay. I'll allow it. I'll allow that. You thought it could have been an entrance. Now it looks to be another fragment. Okay. In the beginning, I thought it could be an entrance. Now it looks okay. That's fair. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the video you're talking about, but I think I agree with you. It's not an entrance wound over here. Nice. Oh, I've already read that one. Oh, I thought I had a new grumbler in there. Please look, I sent you an email at 6:20 p.m. video evidence. I'll check it out. Dual trigger mechanisms involving both Harpole and Cutler should be seriously examined. In military detonations that require absolute success, backup triggers are critical. I'm not saying that this is a Hollywood squib he was wearing, but in Hollywood squibs, a lot of those require 2 detonators. I don't know if you guys knew that. And the idea is the actor also will be holding a detonator so that we know nobody's going to activate it without his knowledge. So that would explain dual detonators if they had some sort of similar trigger device. Google carotid artery rupture from electrocution and necklace. Original plan was electrocution from wired mic and exploding mic to be chest wound. Ruptured artery was unforeseen. I'm not too far off of that myself, to be honest with you. Not too far off of that. This is really shaped charge of some kind of explosive. Then Erica's affinity for pyrotechnics is even more sinister. Guys, the lightning bolt on the tent is the worst part of this whole thing. Let's just be honest. It does not get worse than the lightning bolt on the tent. Period. End of story. I sent you an email about the mini lies of Eric Kirk series by Coop on YouTube. A must-see, in my opinion. If they keep shoveling bull butter, we're all going to need some serious throat coat. Love the show. Go Max. Yeah, it's a ton of bull butter coming out. I've seen something similar, like a compilation of all the lies, but I'll be happy to check it out. I might even play it. Been a long time since I counted down the hours waiting for a podcast. This is great. Thank you for caving Ian. And thank you, Baron, for making it happen. You guys make the country a better place. Yeah, we've been talking about doing a live together for quite some time. It's just hard because he's always on the run. I've always got obligations going on. It's hard to find a night when we're both free at the same time. Like maybe I'm free at 7, but he's not free until 6. Or he's only free until 6, or he's good in the afternoon, I'm good in the evening. But tonight it actually worked out. He did have to jump off a little early. He had somewhere to be. He's a very busy man. He had somewhere to be, but it was great. Question regarding research in this case. Is it a red flag for an LLC certificate of reinstatement to be signed by an attorney not affiliated with a firm listed as company contact or listed as a registered agent? No, not at all. People can have any attorney sign those types of documents. That they don't have to be affiliated. That doesn't raise any red flags to me. Whammy Paluk, $46.80 $100 tip. Look into Erica's mom's company, AZ Tech. We've looked into it. Having contact DOD. We've looked into that. Hardening testing. Yeah. Familiar with all of that. Thank you for the generous donation. Just so everyone knows, a World War I Mauser was a German gun. The 30-06 is an American round. The old Mausers were chambered in 8mm Mauser, not compatible with the scope. They're loaded from the top with a stripper clip. How is that now just coming out? I'm looking it up. So Mauser, they're saying it's a 98 model Mauser. Mauser 98 30-06. Nope. The internet disagrees with you. A Mauser 98 in 30-06 is a classic, robust bolt-action rifle, blending legendary German engineering with the popular American 30-06 Springfield cartridge, often found as original sporters. Let's see here. In World War I. Mauser 98 was Germany's standard infantry rifle in World War I, but it was chambered in 7.92 by 57, 8mm Mauser, not 30-06 Springfield. 30-06 was an American cartridge. Sounds a lot like you, Woofy. Though commercial Mauser 98 sporters were later made in 30-06 for foreign markets. Oh, so you're suggesting it was not, and Gemini agrees with you, it was not potentially a World War I gun. Well, that's worth exploring more. Dynamic duo right here. Yeah, we were doing our best, guys. Keep working. We're trying. Charlie deserves justice. Agreed. Our little village is the best. We do have the best little village. I believe, Eve, those were not the same contract number era. Ian says a D. Baron's last 3 digits were different. Yeah, we were looking at 2 different contracts. He was looking at one from September 23rd of 2025. I was looking at one from May 1st of 2025. Those were 2 different contracts. I FOIA'd information for Accurate Energies. They'll send you what I get. I'll send you what I requested. Might not be relevant, but it's technically not a contract, it's a purchase order. I'm not familiar with the difference. So, did I email you back during the show? Are you the same person I emailed? I saw an email during the show. I responded to it. And the difference is, like, a contract might be for, say, $5 million. And it might say in the contract that if you want to spend money against this contract, you have to fill out individual purchase orders. And then you would submit those purchase orders for approval, and then they would allocate money based on that. So that's the difference. Check out my YouTube pic, Carroll Coleman. Stop the Slop 28. Have a bunch of shirts viewers of these would love. You guys rock. Best show on YouTube. In Carroll Coleman, Stop the Clock. I like that. I don't know why Ian's so much bigger than I am. He is bigger than I am, though. He's a massive dude. Best show on YouTube. Inshirts.com. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Very generous of you to come up with that and offer that for the folks. Offer that for the folks. They paved the area where Terrell Farnsworth stood. I don't know if you meant that to be funny, but it was hilarious. I don't even know if you know how funny that is. That's great. You two, Clint and Candace, are spot on. Deo gratia. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Got mittens. It's probably pronounced some wildly crazily different way than that, but that's how I'm pronouncing it tonight. If there wasn't a rifle, could you trigger the mic by a facsimile gunshot through the PA? Any loud noise like that would be an abnormal input to that road. I'm not familiar with that mic, but I heard they're pretty sensitive. They are sensitive. they have processing capabilities on it. So I don't know if sound would be what would trigger it. I know there are things that can detonate by sound. And so that's not unheard of. It's not unusual. But whether or not the electrocution is correct first or the explosion under the shirt is correct first, if either or both of those things is true, they could be triggered by sound. But probably more likely triggered by some sort of electrical impulse, if I had to guess. If I had to guess. I thought you'd like to know that the gay bar closest to the Pentagon is 270% busier than it normally is tonight. Well, that means the Pentagon is empty. That means that must be a TP USA event in town. Actual pizza sales also have a big spike. Now, sometimes that means certain things, but the gay bar inverse correlate is when the gay bars around the Pentagon are emptier than usual, then we get a strike of some sort somewhere. And the inverse correlate, the inverse of that is if the pizza sales are busier, meaning the to-go orders of pizza around the Pentagon are busier, we also get a strike. So low gay bars, high pizza, strike. High gay bars, low pizza, no strike. Because they're not eating pizza in the Pentagon. They're out. Well, I love seeing truth tellers come together for a greater cause. Candace will always be number one. However, maybe there is hope for humanity after all. May God continue to bless and lead you both. You know, it's not many people that would be proud to read a comment saying you're number two. There's someone truly better than you, and you'll never be better than that person. Not a lot of people would put up with that, but I am humble enough to appreciate your kind words. Yeah, that's the contract we were looking at. Purchase from Tennessee plant made by Crane. Yes. Prefix. Yes. Not only does the prefix order, it actually says it in the contract if you open it. Naval Surface Warfare Crane. We've talked about that. Yeah. Dated 5/1/25. Yeah. So this is, you may be coming from Ian. I'm not sure who's coming from where. We've talked about that a lot on this program. I don't know if Ian's gone into the that purchase order, but we've gone into that pretty in depth. And so you are feeding back to us a lot of what we have fed out into the community. But thank you for your you watch our program, Living for His Glory Daily. I think I've seen your comments. Baron and Ian, why are you two not discussing the clear evidence of serious financial fraud involving TPUSA, Hoffman, Boyer, Farnsworth names, and more that Zach De Gregorio has uncovered? Because I've told you, just like our good friend Jason Goodman and the drones, I only have so much time on a daily basis. We cover a lot of material in this program. I cannot possibly cover everything that's been unfolded or uncovered in the entire world. I just can't. Nor will I try. The show will get muddy. I bring 2 or 3 topics a night, and we look at those for anywhere from 50 minutes to 90 minutes. And then the next night, we'll talk about a few more topics. And the next night, a few more topics. And sometimes I got to circle back. And sometimes I got to do 5 shows on the same topics. And there are other people doing this, like you mentioned, Zach De Gregorio. Wolves in Finance. Danks, D-A-N-K-S. I don't know if you saw his video on YouTube. He did a great deep dive into the life insurance policy. So there are other people doing these shows. It's not like it's not being covered. Looks like very shady business practices at UVU based on that lengthy list of repairs, maintenance you were showing. Very cool. Well, could be. You know what, Max Frost? Dig into it and find some. I'll be happy to cover it if you can uncover some of that and send it my way. Baron and Ian, love the two of you. There's a video that had Butch in showing people looking all over the grass afterwards, looking all over and picking things up in the grassy areas, I think including Terrell Farnsworth. Was that the Life is Driving video? Because if so, I'll have to give it a second look. I know Adam loves when this show covers the Life is Driving video. He loved that. That was great. Baron and Ian, have you heard of the flock cameras? Yes, I'm familiar with flock cameras. Motion activated solar powered cameras capture images of vehicle license plate. Ben Jordan has a what? Has a what? You have me on the edge of my seat. What does Ben Jordan have? Tell me. Why are you holding this back from me? Are you one of them? Are you working for the other side? Are you a spy? I need to know. Looks like you hit enter too soon. But yeah, I'm familiar with flock cameras. Sure. Almost a 50% like the view rate. Well, those are rookie numbers. Let's get the numbers up. You guys go click that like button. Oh my gosh, serious bro crush times 2. Well, thank you, Ivan. Wife made me shave my Ian starter stash. You had an Ian starter stash? I would love to see that. Dipped early from Trigger's live 3-way. Thanks, AI Epstein 5. Yes. He'd make a great beta tester. Webb is dope. I don't know if you guys have seen Webb. Crowdsource investigation is legit. Go Max. You crammed a lot in a $20 comment. I mean, that's a whole lot. Like 7 different topics. I like Trigger. I like Danks. I enjoyed his show. I was not familiar with him until a couple of days ago. But I liked his show quite a bit. Not sure if this even relates, but did you see that AES was awarded a contract with the Department of War of $120 million in September 2025? Yeah, that's what we were covering. Was it 120? I thought it was like 7. But yeah, we were covering a September contract. Change your show to Grinnin' and Baronet. Ooh, don't dislike that at all. NSA has a massive facility in Utah, and Oracle has offices there for their cloud. Makes sense. It would also be a hub for the CI, first letter of the alphabet. There's that self-censoring they were talking about earlier. This is more exciting than Spider-Man and Wolverine team up. Time to take America back, boys. Yes. You know, can I confess something? Henny, you know the last superhero movie I saw? It was the 1990 Batman with Michael Keaton. I saw that in the theaters. The 1990 movie Batman with Michael Keaton. And I've seen it like 10 times. And that was the last superhero movie. I missed all the Marvel universe. I missed all the DC movies. And I am a Batman fan. I like Batman. I used to watch Batman, the Adam West Batman when I was a kid. No, I mean, it was on replay. It was like on Nick at Night or something. But yeah, I used to watch that. Maybe Tyler Robinson is the perfect Patsy who not only went to an intelligence school, but who also was knowledgeable about electrical work, a.k.a. capable of executing an electrocution, perhaps. Maybe he is guilty of murder, but not in the way we're being told. Interesting. I don't know how he would have access to the sound equipment and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not ruling it out. I mean, I'm willing to hear you out. Ian, you spoke with my husband today. Oh, that's Aaron Tea Party. Excited for you guys to collab. Hi, Baron. I sent you all the Emmanuel Beer stuff last month. I remember that. That was good stuff. You guys are doing great work. Glad to be part of this high IQ outfit. Yes, Ian is part of the high IQ outfit. He absolutely is. No question in my mind. It is a high IQ outfit when Ian shows up. Hey, Baron. Looks like an AES employee will be my first interview. Do you want to help with my list of questions? I think something is hiding there. That's amazing, Adam Thomas. How did you pull that off? I could do that. Email me, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. I would have a few questions. Are you going to do, let me ask you this. Are you doing a pre-interview? Email me, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. What I'd like to know is, are you doing a pre-interview? I would like to sit in on that. And then I will watch you do the interview. But I would love to sit in on the pre-interview, which I think if you're not doing a pre-interview, you should. Every interview on like that, I'm an AES employee. If you're not talking to them before you go on air, you're missing a real opportunity to really dig deep and figure out what's worth following in the show and what's worth discarding. Ian, no Twitch, bro, Stacy, 5 hundos. Ian will be enthralled with your generous contribution to his efforts. So thank you. And gosh, that's great. Thank you so much. Did I already read this one? Oh, yes. Hold on. Oh, please. There we go. Oh, where am I? How did I end up there? Ian is at Lance is at Calais with Charlie. What's Calais? Clais. Should I know that by now? A city in France? In Francais? What makes us think Ian is in? I mean, why do I keep saying Ian? What makes us think Charlie is in Calais, next to the Strait of Dover? I don't understand French. Like, if we're being totally honest, I don't understand French. They just mutter. I was watching, what's his name? Brigitte Macron. I was watching Brigitte Macron give an interview about the 10 people she had arrested for talking bad about her on X. And the whole interview was like, she never moved her mouth. It was like, and don't sue me because I have no idea what I just said. Don't sue me, bro. Here we go. Best I can tell, Bray started the mic chatter on 9/17 and had it pretty solid soon after. So 2 week for the plant. Oops. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was pretty quick. Baron, longtime fan, first time super. Well, thank you. Welcome to the program. Would the Bomb Dogs have picked up any scent from this explosive? Not an expert here. Me and my mom are massive fans. I know she's watching. Hi, Mom. Christ is King. Hi, Mom. Not my mom, of course. Although my mom might be watching. Hi, Mom. I think Bomb Dogs, I'm getting mixed reports on whether a Bomb Dog 4 months later would still pick up a scent. Some people are telling me, oh, yeah, they can smell anything. Some people are like, bro, it's been 4 months and they paved over the scene. Like, calm down. Baron, did you watch Stu Peters' interview with Mitch Snow? I did not. Curious your thoughts. I'll probably check it out. Also, I think Lance changed his name to Joe. You're rocking the lime green hoodie. Hallelujah. Yes. Loving the lime green hoodie, Heather Ray. I've got a new color on the way. It was supposed to be here today, and it did not make it. So maybe tomorrow. Although I don't think I'll be on the air tomorrow. I think it'll be Thursday before you hear from me again. Don't forget, subscribe to both channels, Ian's and mine. Don't forget to like the video. And I don't know if his channel's still up. It may still be up. He may maybe meet. Have I got free reign of Ian's channel? Oh, bro, he has no idea what he did. He left me in charge of his channel. I'm not going off tonight. I'm not shutting down. I'm going to talk for 40 hours. I'm filibustering. I'm going to get out the phone book and be like, let me read you a few pages of the constituents in my district. I love going the rich senator voice. No, I did not watch it. But I might. Tyler and Lance were members of the Armed Quars. Went to a Buzzards and Bees meetup where younger ROTC members met with older military to frolic. Have you seen this video? Armed Quars. We're at UVU on 910. I've not seen that video. Feel free to send it to me. Thurnovich. Oh, you're talking about his the way he says his name? Love you guys. Changing the world. Well, thank you. Trying, Sherry, trying. I'm befuddled by Mitch. We mods need clarification on Mitch in the chat. Real Mitch now joined again tonight and left. 3 accounts have claimed to be him. Also, did you watch Stu Peters' episode with Mitch from yesterday? Yeah, no, I didn't. I just had that question a second ago. I don't know which one he is. I know one of them at one point was him because he emailed me and told me he was in the chat. And then I talked to him. And unless somebody does a really mean Mitch Snow impersonation, I know I talked to him. And he actually, he texted me tonight while I was on the show. Okay. Yeah, he texted me tonight while I was on the show. New weekly podcast, please. Coleman and Carroll. I doubt that's going to happen weekly. That would be a big commitment, and it's hard enough to commit your own show on a weekly basis. As a mom of 8, I prayed for Trump and rallied for change. This year has been deeply upsetting and has weighed truly on my heart. Hope for real change in the future. It's been a tough year for a lot of us, frankly. It's been a tough year. Ian, you're getting the salute. That was awesome. Thank you both for an amazing show. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. So many similarities between Tyler and Kohlberger. Top of class, took classes in intelligence, shy, awkward, both charged with murder, no concrete evidence, and many unanswered questions. I am really befuddled by that Idaho case. You're talking about Kohlberger, the Idaho case, is that right? I'm really befuddled by that. I have to believe it was not random. I have to believe it was more than like jealousy or some kind of mental snap. But I can't put my finger on what it is. And I don't want to start speculating out loud. I have something in my head and it involves family of one of them. And I don't want to just speculate out loud just to do it. That was fun. Thought you guys were going to discuss Vegas. Did I tell you we were going to discuss Vegas? I don't recall that. But yeah, he had a great episode with Vegas on Tucker and with the Vegas topic on Tucker's podcast. But I ought to have him on to talk about Vegas because I've done a lot of Vegas research in my life and did a lot of shows on Vegas back in the day. And that would be a fun one to go down. Maybe I did hint about it now that I'm saying that out loud. It sounds like I just said it yesterday, but I didn't mean it because it didn't happen. Love the Ian and Baron live. Hope y'all do more. I agree with y'all's theory that Tyler Robinson may be a willing patsy or duped participant in the plot. Saw George Webb clip that Tyler Robinson and ROTC for 8 years leading to CIA recruitment. Is this true? I don't know. I follow the people I follow. I have certain people I follow. Jesse chimed in tonight. I watch him. I watch Ian, obviously. Candace, obviously. I like Colin. Colin gives me good recaps. And I watch certain videos of there's more people I watch. I don't know why I'm blanking on some of the names, but there's 8 or 10 people I watch. I just don't have time for more. Just don't have time. I watch Tucker. I just don't have time to add more people into the mix. After hearing Ian read the background of the woman who developed the CAI program at USU, it kind of gives a new meaning to We Huge in the Balkans. Great show. We're massive in the Balkans. I mean, so big in the Balkans. People don't even know how big we are. Unbelievable. Sent you an email, but check out UVU footage by Life is Driving on Tyler Robinson or lookalike and be. Yeah, it's a lookalike. Can he set up the? No, I will go back and look at that, but I have a feeling you're talking about the same people I've already looked at. I don't recall the timestamps off the top of my head. The answer is no. I don't think that's Tyler. What does a Mossad chief do after he retires? He goes on to be a director at an energy company that is moving to the U.S., of course. Yossi Cohen, Doral Renewables, about to start construction of a solar farm in West Texas. Why? Help me understand. Well, I mean, I'll give you the innocent version. He's got to do something, and he found somebody that's willing to hire him, and so he took the job. I mean, that's like the innocent version. Now, we can all speculate why a member of the intelligence community of a foreign country should have access to critical electrical infrastructure in the United States. I don't think they should. Would we let the intelligence chief of France have access to critical infrastructure, or Germany, or China, or Iran, or India, or Brazil? I mean, where do we draw the line? How about we just say nobody with foreign ties to foreign intelligence agencies may have access to American critical electrical infrastructure? That's fine with me. No water, no electricity, no gas, no petro, no coal, no nuclear. What else? What are some of them other industries? No cable television, internet access, no critical utility infrastructure. That's when I'm Secretary of State. Ian's going to be president. Candace Secretary of War, so she'll enforce it. Colin Vice President, feet up on the couch. T-shirt, hoodie, slogan, Baron Brigade, a high IQ outfit. That's correct. It is a high IQ outfit. No, about to doubt it. Canate 1104 Baron, the area you showed Charlie might have burns on his torso is right where defibrillator pads would be placed. Was Charlie defibrillated to the hospital? This was well before he made it to the hospital. This was exactly 26 seconds after the Big Bang that I saw that image. Or the image was taken 26 seconds after the Big Bang. I have stitched together enough footage to be able to, then I can actually see the photographer taking the photo. So no, this is not a defibrillator pad. Not at all a defibrillator pad. Stevie, I think the midget horse comment just pushed Ben over the edge. Ben is the ex-boyfriend that can't move on and see Candace succeed. Maybe. There's always danger in the blind belief. That is why we see what we see with so many in TP. Woo, that kind of rhymed. That's why we see what we see with so many in TP. A note on the Joe thing. It's better to be better than to be as bad. Just food for thought. Man, you got away with words, sir or ma'am. Many of us would rather you not read all the super chats so you can end the show and be with your wife and children. Your family is part of what we love about you and the ultimate priority. But I understand that. I genuinely like the super chats for a couple reasons. One is it gives me the opportunity to interact with people. Two, I get an opportunity probably 3 to 5 times per show. Something in the super chats will cause me to stop and give explanatory context, either to something I said earlier, maybe something I said to another show, or something else going on outside the news that I've not yet covered, or some kind of ground rules, or why the show runs the way it runs. So I understand what you're saying. And maybe as time goes by, like if I had 4,000 super chats, I could still only read so many. And obviously if someone donates $100 or $500, I'm going to pull it up and we're going to talk about it. Now the $1, $2, $5, I get to as many as I can, as many as time will allow. But if I have, again, 400 of them or 300 of them, I might get to 20 or 30 or 40 because time just doesn't allow me to get to every single one. But yeah, I'm glad you actually said that, because to me, interacting with the super chats is the most enjoyable part of this program. I get to talk to you. Like, even if you all agreed, hey, we'll send you the same amount, just don't read them, go spend. My family understands that this is the part of the show that drives me to want to do this. I enjoy talking to people. I like feedback. Now, maybe if I've been doing this show with the same audience for 10 years, I don't want your feedback. I feel like I've got it pretty much under control. But right now, most of you are watching me for the last few months, and that's it. Thank you for the feedback, though. I will run it by Mrs. Coleman. Did you see the hand devices being released on scene? I don't know what that means. I might have. Went shopping with me. Haha, great episode. Oh, I went shopping. We went shopping with you, Bell Jar Water Drinker. Cheers to that, man. 2 of my favorites together. Very well done. My grandma graduated from Notre Dame. Grandpa taught chemistry at Purdue. I'm sorry to hear that. Uncle, lawyer in LaPorte. Love Hoosier land from Arizona. Yeah, as a lifelong Indiana-er, I give Purdue people a hard time. So I'm sorry about your grandpa, but everybody else, dynamite. It's very odd. We hear nothing from Charlie's parents about all this. They are totally MIA. How do they feel about Erica? I have noticed the same. I've also wondered, Arizona has weird rules of succession. I don't know if you've noticed this. Arizona estate succession. I think they have very, very weird rules. I have to go back and look at it. I've looked at it before, and I wonder if there might be some hard feelings between Erica and his parents about that. Authenticity and truth unites. I'm a progressive liberal and believer. Left and right narrative is eroding, and we're seeing the PSYOP for what it is. Please get rid of the center top photo if is who I think it is. Replaced with the King of Kings, JC. Now, I don't have an 8.5, 11 glossy photograph of Jesus. And if you'll notice, that's the motif I have back here is 8.5 by 11 glossies. If Jesus comes back and sits for a photograph or is taken a candid, and I can get an 8.5 by 11 off of Amazon to put into one of these frames, I'll be happy to put it up. You don't have to. You just said the left and right narrative is eroding, and we're seeing the PSYOP for what it is. Don't fall then into the PSYOP of believing if I do or don't like a certain politician, then you and I should somehow be opposed. That's not true. I voted for this man 3 different times. But you want me to tell you something, tasteful teetotaler? Congratulations on your sobriety, by the way. You want me to tell you something? I have more in common with you than him, and you're a progressive liberal. I have more in common with you than him. Why? Because we're not billionaires, probably. If you're a billionaire, let me know in the comments. But I have more in common with you. I have more in common with the most far left-wing, girl with a septum ring, purple hair, hairy legs, man-hating than I do Donald Trump. Because she knows what it's like to have to check the bank account before you run to Kroger and make sure you've got enough to get everything you need for the week. She knows what it's like to say, hey, the kids need shoes. but we also have to call the air conditioning repair guy, and one of the toilet flappers is running. So that's going to cost $15. And we've got to figure out how all this is going to work. And guess what? We've got this bill due, and we've got that bill due. And you know what it's like. I know what it's like. He doesn't know what it's like. And so while I might like some of his politics, less and less as time goes by, he doesn't know what it's like to struggle to pay bills. And I've raised 8 kids through various income levels, and I know exactly what it's like to open up the checking account and go, you may spend $211 at Kroger because we have to leave a $100 balance in there. That's all we've got. So if it's $212, you've got to put something back. And so I have more in common with you than him. So don't let the left-right divide. Don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. It's us and it's them. It's us and it's them. It's not them, you against me. Not at all. Not at all. Hey, Baron, you seem to know your way around the Bible. Well, I mean, got one right here. Did you follow a structured plan like the Bible in 365, or is there another way you'd recommend for studying it and getting around? If you are, great question. If you are completely unfamiliar with the Bible, if you're starting at a pretty much what's it called here? I want to make sure it's right. Yeah, this is the tutorial for you. This is the Bible in a Year podcast with Father Mike Schmitz and Jeff Cavins. So this is the one. This day one in the beginning, if you are unfamiliar with the Bible, even if you're pretty familiar with the Bible, unless you got like a PhD or something, this is a great place to start. Protestant, Catholic, it doesn't matter. Yeah, there are some days that have a little bit of a Catholic bent, but most of it's pretty down the middle. When they get to the parts about, like the angel visits Mary, they're going to be a little more Catholic about Mary than probably if a Presbyterian did it. But it's pretty down the middle, and it's a fantastic one. So if you're just starting out or you have kind of a medium understanding, go there. If you have a pretty good understanding, but you just want a great, then it's the Navarre Study Bible. This thing is dope. The Navarre Bible, here's the New Testament Expanded Edition. Let me get all the pop-ups off before I pull it up for you. This thing right here is dope. We have the Navarre commentary even. So you can get the Navarre Bible, or you can get the Navarre commentary. The commentary is like a set of 30 books or something. We also have that. So that would be a great thing for you. So it just depends on kind of where you're starting. But yeah, both will give you a pretty firm understanding. And if somebody mentions something, you'll go, oh, I know what they're talking about. I know exactly where that is, or I know about where that is. Amazing collab. Thanks for all you do. Well, thanks for all you do, RPM 87. Baron Coleman for president. I told you, Allie, I don't know that I want to be president. Allie, don't try to force this on me. Don't try to force this on me. I don't know that I want to be president. I think I would rather be Secretary of State. Secretary of State's the dopest job of all time, in my opinion. Go out there negotiating on behalf of the American people. Are you kidding me? How awesome is that? Requesting permission to become a member of the Tinfoil Hat IAIQ Club. You're welcome. Come on in. If you don't own a tinfoil hat, you know what I saw? They had a almost like a Faraday cage beanie. To begin with, Tim Pool needs one, but they had like a Faraday cage beanie, and they it was remarkable because they've really modernized the whole tinfoil hat. Let me see here. This is a good one. Hi, Baron. Love the show. You still convinced Brian Harpole's alibis regarding Fort Huachuca are legit, or at least that he boarded the flights he bought tickets for. I missed an episode or two. Yes, 100. Well, I don't want to answer yes to all of it. I will say he 100% boarded the flight from Salt Lake City to from DFW to Salt Lake City. I believe that. I believe he could have been traveling with a companion, perhaps, that has not yet been disclosed. So there's that potential. But I do believe he was on that flight. I think it was scheduled at 1:42. It might have taken off at 1:48 on September 9th. That does not mean he has an alibi for 7 o'clock in the morning in Arizona. It just doesn't mean that. It means he was in Dallas at 1:42 p.m. Now there's 7 hours between those two events, right? So 5, 6, 7 hours. So there's time to move about the country. But yes. But that doesn't. So no, I'm not convinced about his alibi. I am convinced he was on those planes. 99.44% convinced he was on the planes. So proud of you, Baron. Ian is fire, and you two just nailed it. Man, I knew he would nail it. I knew he would. Of all the people I get suggestions for, you should do a show with so-and-so. You should do a show with so-and-so. And I'm sure he gets them, and I'm sure Candace everybody's getting them, right? I would love to do a show with Candace. I know I saw on her show today, she mentioned that we probably would do it on a Friday coming up pretty soon. I would love that. There are some other people I would love to do a show with. I'd like to do a show with Nate because I think we have enough differences of opinions on things. Candace and I have some differences of opinions on things, Charlie Kirk related. We've talked about them. What do you think of this? Well, I think this. Well, I think this. And they didn't always line up. So I think that makes good content. I think like Ian and I disagree on a few things. If you agree with everything somebody else says, well, you might as well just hear from that person. But that was great. I thought tonight was fantastic. Ian's fantastic. When he first sits down, it looks like he moves something under his shirt. What is it? Go back. So I'll have to go back and look at that. I know where I can find that. Not high IQ enough to be worthy of your show, but we sit in awe of your knowledge and comedy. Thanks for all you do. We are so proud of you. You are certainly high IQ enough because you're watching and participating. And you're saying good things. You're not saying things like, I am supporting Mitch. I'm not just telling you what Mitch said. Not vouching for 56 years of Mitch's life or however old he is. I'm sure Mitch has had ups and downs like we all have. Thank you, Wendy. Very kind words. Thank you for the generous donation as well. Just paying my free speech tax. Thanks for all you do. Diane Mooneyham, you have been a phenomenal commentator. Commentator and commenter. But I'll say this is commentary that you provide in the comments. You've been a good commentary, a good commentator, and you've been a reliable friend of the program. So thank you. Nostradamus' prediction, a great man struck down by thunder. Lightning bolt on the tent. Sounds about right. I'm not a Nostradamus guy. I think I have a Nostradamus book over there somewhere. Or I did at one point. I'm not sure where it is. I used to have a book of all his predictions. I may have loaned it to somebody and they didn't give it back. Or maybe hiding. I have like multiple levels of books back there. It might be hiding behind another book. But I used to read them and try to divine all these things from him. And what does he mean? What is he saying? And then I realized it's bull butter. He just saying stuff. Charles Carroll of Carrollton was not only the sole Catholic signer of the Declaration of Independence, but also had the most elegant signature. IMO. Charles Carroll signature on Declaration of Independence. Let me take a peep at this. Let me get oh, what a beautiful signature. Wow. That's a work of art. Yeah, I will show this. You are correct. You are correct. Look at this thing. This is a beautiful signature. Yeah, Charles Carroll of Carrollton. The only one that put his address on the Declaration of Independence. In other words, hey, King, you want a piece of this? You know where I am. Or maybe he was into the Queen. You want a piece of this? You know where I am, girl. I don't know what Charles Carroll of Carrollton said. Back then, they'd be like, doth thou wanteth a piece of thy hiney? Thou shalt find me at Carrollton, Maryland. Baron, great show tonight. Got blocked by Dan on Twitter. Guess he didn't like being called a scumbag that protects pizza. Well, who among us? Who among us would like to be called that? Mr. Lamb Rocker. I live by a guy named Lamb who is a rocker, but it doesn't look like you. I just zoomed in. I wondered if you were he. No, I don't think he would like that. I don't know what's up with Dan. I don't know why he's taking this. Maybe he thinks it's like how he's supposed to reintroduce himself. It's just a weird take. Ian, you were there when they were doing that construction. Have you gone back through your photos and footage to see if you could zoom in and spot any of those little black pieces? Love that you guys are live researching this together. Well, I will take a picture of this and send it to him. I did not know that's when he was there. He was there that soon, 4 days after. Is that true? Is this true? That's my Hiller shout out again. Thank you. Louise Das. Thank you. Very, very generous donation. You guys are very kind. Erica's uncle, Jack Solomon, and Norman L. Vance had SEC fraud brought in 1983. While interesting facts, I'm not sure about the relevance to the Charlie Kirk investigation, but I am open to hearing more should you want to bring more to the table at realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Love the show, podcast, duo, the whole shebang. Erica Kirk, devil voice, devil tail, and hair jokes are hysterical. Thank you. I promised not to do the devil voice tonight. Semi-new fan, new super, got my mom to subscribe. Donating to your dog's toy fund. Well, I will put that $10 to good use for the dog. Looks like you got is that a dog? Yeah. Now, you guys don't understand how small this screen I'm staring at is. You'd be shocked. Yeah. See, I got to have the screen in front of the camera, and I can only be so big. Otherwise, the camera will be up down here looking down at me. So the camera's got to be able to see over the screen, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. I am not going to do the devil voice tonight. I mean, maybe at the very end of the show. Maybe at the very, very end of the show. Candace on Boyer. Erica said that in old interviews, she was introduced to Charlie by Boyer, and then again with her mom in Israel. Then again, Tyler suggested her come to an interview with New York, Tyler, and her mom. I think we've established Erica's stories change quite a bit. That's my guess. I think Dan never quit. He's going home to work from home to bash you, Candace, Ian, etc. They know they've lost everyone and feel Dan is the best weapon where all else has failed. I have suspected that he's not really leaving the employ of the FBI. I have suspected that he's going to come out bomb throwing because they got in there and said, Ben Shapiro's not the guy we need out there convincing people. We got to have you, Dano. Would love a collab with Jason Goodman. Anything you have Vegas related would be awesome. You're a breath of fresh air, Baron. Well, thank you. Crispy chips. Love how you're willing to consider all perspectives, no matter how odd. I am. I honestly am a very curious person. That is the basis of my show. I don't know if you guys have figured that out. Those of you who've been here for years watching me flail around on podcasting and decades or more than a decade watching me on radio before that, you may have understood that by now, but some of you newbies don't understand. The whole premise of this show is I am insanely curious. Well, I like talking to people. If you ever meet me in person, all I do is interrupt you and ask you questions. And it's annoying the hell out of a lot of people. But you'll be talking about something, and now I'm ready to move on to the next one, but I'm going to keep asking you questions. So where'd you grow up? Well, where'd you go to high school? Did you go to college? Where'd you go to college? What did you do did you get a job out of, where did you go work? I mean, and it's not that I'm being rude. It's intense interest in other people. I'm very interested in people's stories. Everybody has a story. I have a story. You have a story. Next person I pull up. Who is this? Just common sensing it. She has a story. I learn a lot during super chats and enjoy them. I always stay on the end because I don't want to miss anything. See, I just learned something about her. She likes conversation. She's a conversationalist. I bet if you went to dinner with just common sensing it, you would have a blast. You'd have a blast. Grab a couple of friends, 3-4 of you guys go to dinner. Just common sensing it will keep the conversation going. Why? She's insanely curious. She likes hearing what people say. She likes hearing the super chats. She likes hearing the responses. I would love to I see her black and white picture there. I don't know anything about her. I'd love to ask her a story. Where'd you grow up? Oh, you grew up in Kansas. Is it as flat as they say? Did your family work in corn? That's great. Back to here. Yes, I would love a collab with Jason Goodman. Just because I love his personality so much. And I've been listening to him for years. I bet I've been listening to Jason Goodman for 10 years. Almost. I would do that. Just heard you say it. The big boom could be detonated by an electrical pulse, an EMP to be specific. Something Erica's mom was working on with the military at Fort Huachuca. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you too, Will. I think she was working on hardening systems to withstand EMPs. I don't think she was working on creating them. I could be wrong. I don't know everything she's done, but look, let me just put this out here because I sense a lot of people thinking there's an Erica Kirk mom angle to this whole thing. Do I think Erica Kirk's mom's weird? Yes. Do I think Erica Kirk is weird? Yes. But I don't know. I mean, I think we know all we're going to publicly know from Erica Kirk's mom. Like, there's no more. You can't direct me to a website to learn more about her mom. And I think that's where sometimes audiences stop. They get to the point where we've exhausted everything we can possibly know by website. Floating in the air right here. That we get to where everything we can possibly know by website has been exhausted, and then we stop. And a lot of people don't take that next step. So, okay, we know about her work at E3 Tech. We know about the different companies she'd had. We know about her work with the geofencing company. We know about her work with different defense contractors. We know about her work with the Farnsworths. We know about all this stuff. And then people just are like, well, did you know this? Well, yeah, I know it, right? And I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying that I'm suggesting once we've exhausted the open source intelligence available to us, now it's time to pick up the phone and start calling people. Now it's time to start getting some shoe leather on the ground. I'm not always that guy. You know, and the beauty of having 36,000 people watching tonight with Ian and me live, and the beauty of it'll probably end up with, 500,000 people maybe between our two channels or more seeing some portion of this. The beauty is that that's 500,000 people. Somebody's going to have an idea. Wait a minute. What if I know a guy who knows her. I know a guy who grew up with her. Let me call him. Oh, I know a guy who used to work at E3 Tech. Let me give that guy a call. He left in a huffy. He might be still mad and want to say, I mean, you just never know. So we raise these issues, we talk about it, and then we sit back and see what comes back so we can synthesize and go one step further. And that's not me, like I'm aware of the EMP discussions. I'm aware of the products, but it's like if we're going to keep talking about Lori Fransby, we got to go one step further. We have to get into outside of open source and into shoe leather reporting. So, George Webb takes a lot of slings and arrows, but at least he's standing in court in front of courthouses, trying to talk to people, whether or not they'll talk to him. Money Talks with James Rudder. I pulled this up on purpose. A lot of you are here because of James Rudder, and you don't even know that. A lot of you are here because of James Rudder, and you don't know that. Why? Because when I did my very first Charlie Kirk show on the Google Trends, James was one of the people I was talking to, helping to put that together. James, I don't know if you want me to tell you all that. And then James was out there sending those episodes to people on Twitter, like, you should check this out. You should check this out. You should check this out. And I watched my subscriber base start to go, and I watched my live views start to go up. And then I watched Ian Carroll and this whole thing has taken on an entirely new existence because of James Rudder. James deals with money. If you have a bunch of money, you need to call him because he'll help you protect it. James, great guy. Y'all stop with the replace the Trump photo. I'm not always a fan of DJT, but the man has done more for the U.S. than any president in modern time. Roll that beautiful bean footage. I pulled that up for a reason. Yes, I agree with you. I don't have to agree with everything he's done. The vaccine schedule reduction alone that he did. And now, again, what always happens is we get the headline and then the days that follow, we get the truth. We'll see if the truth holds up to the headline, but the headline looked great. Dropping from 70 72 down to 17 total vaccines on the schedule for kids. If that holds up, if that's truth, if you know, the health outcomes, the improvement to health globally in America is going to be so massive that alone might justify all the thing. And it's not like had Kamala won, you'd have gotten a totally different outcome. So you take, what is it? Justice Brennan said, you take the bitter with the sweet. Now we're talking Catholicism. Now I'm interested. Yeah, James, good Catholic. James, a good Catholic boy. Harpo lied on Sean Ryan, said no credible threats as of the day before the Big Bang. Yeah, he lied about more than that, I think. In my opinion, allegedly. I think he's litigious. But I think he might have got a really good one that said not to read on air, but it was sweet. Talking about enjoying the super chats. So $5 for the shout out. Hey, money talks, James. No. Go talk to James Rudder. Look him up. You'll find him. You'll understand what I'm talking about. He has a way that you can't be poor and call him because he, takes money to make money, but he has a way to help you not lose money during tough economies. Sidebar, I got my mom hooked on your show and she bought me The Art of Cross-Examination. My mom is clearly not a joke. That's a great book. It's old. And so it's got, early to mid 20th century writing, but it's great. You'll be hooked on it. You'll absolutely be hooked. Always an awesome live. Thank you, Baron and Ian. Everyone like the live on both sides. Yes. Oh, everyone like both shows and subscribe to both shows. Because what I'd love to see is this particular show with the two of us hit new heights out there. So subscribe to the Real Baron podcast, subscribe to Ian Carroll show, and like both of them. That will push it to the top of the algorithm, and we will. You'll be great. I find the exploding microphone intriguing, but that hypothesis falls apart when you question how a microphone on his right side strikes the left side of his neck. Not necessarily. I mean, if the microphone. So this was the hole here, right? I don't know if the screen's reversed or not, but this was the hole. We'll say this is the hole. And here's the microphone. If it stayed here, I would agree with you. But if you'll notice in the first few frames, it comes all the way over here. Like that magnet comes all the way across, and then you see the damage, and then the magnet comes back. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with that analysis, but I'm not married to any of this. I am raising it and looking for smart people like you, Chug, to come in and discuss whether or not it holds up. Do you think it's possible that being Tyler dropped out of college and was a third-year student in the electrical apprentice program? Is it possible he's the one that tampered with the microphone? No, I don't think it's possible at all. News is noise to cover the truth they're trying to distract us from, and they call it action, so we don't do anything. Yeah, that's also what Q was. That's what Q was, a distraction. So everybody sat around not doing anything. Okay, Vegas. I listened to the live event. Listened to the event live via Broadcastify and later reviewed the archive after Ian's show. More than half the police communication are gone. Your laugh still makes me JoJo laugh. Oh, I did not know that they were taken down. I'm hustling because I have to pee so bad. It's been 3 hours. I started with this giant coffee right as we were going on air because I was very tired. And you can't buy coffee. You can only rent it. Such a great show, especially tonight with Ian. Never ceases to amaze me, your all's insights and research. Well, thank you. Thank you. That is very kind. Seeing Ian Vegas is on the brain would be noteworthy if there were JSOC employees from Fort Bragg staying at Mandalay Bay that night. That's interesting. You'd have to enlighten me on more about why that would be important. Born and raised near a city you have mentioned a few times. Well, I've mentioned a lot of cities, man. A lot of cities. But again, see, she likes conversation. She is a conversationalist. Great. We've gotten James arrested. Now the FBI's knocking on his door. Harpo alibi. Glad it's impossible for intel agencies to provide doppelganger with fake ID to board plane for him if they needed him at a meeting. Yeah, okay, that's possible. I got you. Okay, yeah. somebody scanned Brian Harpole's tickets. I cannot say the real Brian Harpole scanned. You're right. You're right. But they do take your photo when you go in now. I wonder if that's FOIA-able. I don't think it is. We're getting down towards the end here. Oh my gosh, Baron, you're my brother from another mother. Thank you, Victory Base. Happy to be that. I wanted to be an attorney or child psychologist. I do not want to be a child psychologist. Attorney's fine because I'm insanely curious and ask millions of questions about details that no one else would probably care about. Love your show. Yeah, that's what makes a good attorney. That's what makes a good journalist. That's what makes a good parent. That's what makes a good child. It's what makes a good plumber. It's what makes a good accountant. It's what makes a good interior decorator. It's what I mean. There's almost nothing you can do in life where being insanely curious won't be an advantage. I mean, there are a few jobs perhaps, but it helps. It helps. So thank you, Victory Base. Thank you, Amy Early. Very kind of you to do that, Baron. I'm closing in on 150,000 subscribers. Quick, let's get there. Let's go. I'm just kidding. Guys, I appreciate it. You guys have been great. I'm going to jump off here and get this show on the road. I appreciate you joining us. We will do this again. Ian was great to have on. I am not going to be on in all likelihood tomorrow. I don't believe so unless something massive breaks. I've been on Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, 3 nights in a row. I'm going to take a night off, and I'll be back Thursday for sure. And I don't know about Friday, but Thursday for sure. In the meantime, don't forget, like and subscribe both channels. Like and subscribe Ian. Like and subscribe Baron Coleman or Real Baron Podcast, however you find it. And share the program with your friends. That helps. Say, hey, I found these guys. They're great. You might want to listen to them. That helps a ton. And the most important thing, the most important lesson every single night, Jesus loves you.